Alrighty, so last time, Sam, go.
Let's see. Last time on Shadows, we were heading into. No, yeah, we were heading towards Rydell with a prisoner, but ended up killing him. So we stayed at the village, Misty Village, since we were close. Like, might as well. Stocked up a bit. We got a cleric who now turns out to be a bard.
Yeah, we picked up Oak.
Mm-hmm. And we continued on our way to Rydell. Oh my god. I don't know what it is. My brain's like, no, you're not going to work today. So came in.
Though now you're in Rydell for a completely different quest, having killed halfling person.
Right. Because, yeah, Silver still has her job, so she's fine with that. And so they went into a fancy tavern kind of thing and got rooms, hung out. Young disappeared somewhere, and we have no clue where she's at. And we decided to go do some recon on the shop that we're supposed to go get a magical hat from.
That we can use to disguise someone, if I'm remembering right.
Yep.
Yes, disguise the big Loxodon there.
Hide the elephant from the room?
Yes.
Does that mean the room gets a perception check?
No. Everyone in the room gets perception checks, though.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so, with that, we head over to the marketplace. We find the shop. And for some odd reason, Silver is the only one that went in.
Well, that works in our favor now because the rest of us are out here to distract away the half-orc that's supposedly coming.
Yeah, Silver doesn't know that you guys heard her, so she's going into the back room with this mysterious halfling.
Yep.
And stuff. Well, let's see. Locke is on Cad's shoulder, trying to be intimidating. And
Or at the very
Oak
least,
is on the other side of the door.
Or at the very least, Locke is keeping a good lookout.
Yeah.
He's going to shout caca if he sees anything.
Luckily, there's no. Well, should be fine. Unless they catch the attention of the guards by just suspiciously standing there.
We shall see.
Yeah, so this is going to be fun. Let's see how Silver will bullshit her way out of this one.
Very carefully. And with high deception rolls, I should hope.
Or intimidation. Who knows? Persuasion.
And she did say loud enough for at least Oak to hear because crazy high perception of the potential half-orc person.
Does Locke
the singing cleric? Silver doesn't. You're too busy trying to look intimidating.
Too busy looking at the street.
Yeah. And also, I think, because Silver doesn't know, so she's just sitting there going like, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit."
Internally, of course.
Yes, on the outside she's cold as ice.
Alrighty then. So, yes, you. This particular hat of disguise was a potential quest that you learned from the adorable Gretchen, because she, for some reason, knew that this person had a hat of disguise, mostly because it is her uncle, who she doesn't like, or at the very least, wasn't treated well because of. So,
and asked us not to mention her at all.
Right. Yep.
Wait, what race is Gretchen? Isn't she a gnome?
Gretchen is in fact a gnome, yep. She said that her uncle was the one that ran this shop, and the person you went and talked to when you went inside was a halfling.
Right. Okay.
So,
orange flag flying up.
Yeah, Marta. She was already suspicious, and it's like she also thinks like there's probably something shady going on in this shop since she's being brought to the back room.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
And she did a fairly good deception check when she loudly enough for Oak to hear, but also proclaimed to the halfling that the half orc was temporarily indisposed.
Right. So
Yes.
this should be interesting.
So, with that in mind, we open up with Silver in the back room with this halfling person. Looking around this like back room area, it looks kind of like it's kind of like a warehouse or like the back room of a any other sort of convenience store. It looks like it would be an employee's area, but it also looks like an office. It's like some meeting room, office, warehouse all rolled into one, and you see the wares that he has not made, that he has not moved to the front yet, and this place is basically jewelry store and fine tailor area all in one. It's very, very, very ostentatious and not exactly organized in the most pretty sort of way. And yeah, so he sits behind the desk, behind the counter he has there, and then offers for you to sit down in the chair across from it.
She's going to look around and stuff, see if anything catches her eye.
Roll
as she sits down.
perception.
Find that fucking wig.
What?
Find the fucking wig. I'm pretty sure that's what we're here
Oh,
for.
nice.
Holy shit. Okay, that's a nat 20.
That's the thing.
Nice.
I didn't use detect magic, so I won't find that. But I will find shit. I told you that I would roll high during the game
You did indeed.
How'd you know?
because
Because
all
you-
my beginning roll, my first starting rolls, you know how I roll like 20, like 10, 20 d20s
Uh-huh.
and stuff. They're all low.
Okay.
So yeah.
Alrighty then. Looking around the room with your high perception roll of nat 20, you see that he has he does have his wares that is clearly, you know, going to be moved into the front. He's getting it set up to make displays and typical like jewelry store things, and he has his tools and things as a jeweler off to the side. And with your high roll, you notice that he does have a set of like a small sack of gems in a sack that is hiding in one of the corners of the room, as if it was not intended to be placed up amongst all the rest of the stuff on the shelf. But other than that, not having, you know, any kind of detect magic, your high perception roll doesn't give you anything that immediately sends out a red flag.
Yeah, because, you know, I didn't rest and change my chosen spells for the day. So, of course, I can't use detect magic. Shit.
I mean, technically you... Oh, wait, you know, you didn't go to sleep before you came out here, did you? This is still...
No.
That's right. Okay. I almost forgot that it was
Yeah.
still...
Boy.
I almost forgot that it was still the middle of the night. So do you say anything in response to his... oh wait, no, he didn't even say anything. You just looked around.
He
Never
didn't
mind.
say anything, he just motions to sit down, so she's sitting down.
So, trouble in the mines or trouble in paradise? What's got Marigar indisposed this time? He's assuming you know said half orc, which you probably don't.
No, and she's just like, well, it probably could be a little bit of both.
Really?
Yes, I've looked into a few things for my own purposes. I'm not really here for those, but I'm sure.
So did Vanessa send you in here because she didn't want to come herself, or you here for another reason entirely and just happened to know about Margar? Yay for high deception rolls. He thinks you're in the know when you're not.
Oh, good. You suffering
What
from
deception
success.
roll? Okay. Alrighty. Getting all these names and I don't know shit.
Yep.
I mean, there might be a little trouble, but I won't bring anything up, you know, with the local authorities. Like I should, if you can help me out. I can sweep it under the rug for you.
Okay. Let's see here. I need to roll a thing right quickly. Roll me a deception check again.
Okay, thank you. Because I was like, I know I remember rolling a deception for trying to not make something obvious, yet not obvious.
Oh, hey, cool.
Shit. Oh.
Alright then. So he sort of raises an eyebrow.
Okay, look. Honestly, I don't care for Vanessa right now. I've just been given another mission that I need to do, which is much more important. You've heard of Slag Against Bluff, right?
The mountains to the south? Sure.
Yes. My commander, the High Commander, Zibrin Rosk, had sent word of a special mission that I need to do, and my resources tell me there's a particular item that you have here that could be very useful to me to complete my mission. I don't know, I'm bullshitting right now.
Yes! That
I'm
much
trying
is
to get-
clear.
I'm trying to oh shit, we're going in a direction where she knows nothing about. So let's try to go somewhere where she has a little bit of information about. Back over here.
Yeah, for context, I just put in chat in italic. Somewhere outside, Locke is cringing intensely without trying to. He's very confused by this. Because this is definitely a very cringy exchange going on.
I know, I'm so sorry. I'm not very smooth about this.
I noticed! Trust me, I noticed. I pieced that shit together. Fuck me.
But more importantly,
so
the
sorry.
shopkeeper did not notice.
I mean, yeah.
This is true. This is true. Alright. Yay for characters being more I would imagine that Silver is a little bit more smooth.
Oh, she
as
is.
it were.
She is a lot more smooth. It's just myself trying to word things smoothly, which is horrible, and I apologize dearly.
Can do the wording thing well. Yes.
Yeah, I know. But she's a smooth talker herself.
The shopkeeper's like, she's leaving out enough details. It's like, not sure if she's making it up or not sure if I should be terrified.
All right. So, well, if that's the case, what is this particular item you may be looking for?
My sources tell me you have a magical hat somewhere. A hat of disguise.
I do. Your sources would be correct in that. And what would you be willing to do for the opportunity to use it? You gotta give me something here. The hat is very sentimental.
I know,
and important
very
to me.
dear.
Yes.
And I'm guessing you don't look like that, really. Do you?
Already assuming this is a disguise with that very hat, are you?
Yes.
Alright.
He is wearing a hat, right?
I mean, one, technically, with a hat of disguise, when the disguise self-spell triggers, you don't even technically have to be wearing a hat in your disguise. So, no.
Okay.
However, that being said, he sort of reaches up and removes the hat
Pulls
that
his
you...
hair.
He reaches up and removes the hat that you didn't see and goes from being a halfling, a rather young halfling, to a somewhat late 20s, early 30s gnome.
Nice call, Red. Nice call, Silver.
Well, I was just thinking because, like, little girl is a gnome. This is a halfling.
I
And
was
saying, I own this stuff.
Yeah, in my brain, I was thinking it must be someone else, or maybe the place switched ownership since Gretchen left. I don't know. Honestly, disguise self did not even occur to me.
Alright,
Right.
so he removes...
Real quick, with my high perception, was the bag of gems the only thing I saw?
You saw a lot of things in the room, but it was the only thing in the room that seemed like it didn't belong. Seemed as if it was something that was a part of something else. Everything in this room, aside from that bag of gems, looks like it's something that's going to be going into the fundings to maintain this shop.
So like so the bag of gems would not be going towards the jewelry?
Where it was sitting, and the fact that the gems don't look like well cut or like sorted or anything like that, it strikes you as he was probably going to be doing something different with those gems. As opposed to
summon a demon.
As opposed to selling them amongst his wares.
Shank him in the mantit.
Can I look him over and see if I can get a feeling off of him?
Roll insight. He is now not disguised, and you can roll insight.
21.
Well, I mean, Silver and Locke both even were already under the impression that there were quite possibly some sort of shady deals going on around here. What with the very gaudy and ostentatious way that this shop is presented.
Plus,
and it is
Fantasy Vegas, so
that too.
This place is made up of shades. It's like Nier all over again. The original, not Amada.
Right. It is very clear to Silver with the 21 insight, just looking him over and his overall demeanor, that he is a businessman, but he's also, much like a lot of people here can sometimes be, he very well may be part of the criminal underbelly among this town.
Okay.
Does that mean he's evil? Probably not. But
Doesn't mean he's a cunt, though, is the meta question.
greedy, perhaps. But
Right. So, okay. I'm sure if I take a look around this place, some things may not seem like they belong or are actually truly what they are. Given you just yourself have been lying to people with that hat, I'm sure the local guards would like a say with the kind of business you do here.
roll intimidation, I guess.
Roll well,
That's what
roll
that
well,
sounds
roll well, roll well.
20.
Jesus Christ! Let's hear that. 21, 20, 21, 20. What the fuck?
It's all going to come down to one roll at the very end of
That
everything.
That last roll's gonna fuck everything up.
It'd be like a 3.
Yeah, everything just shits the fan.
And that one.
Alright,
Like, crap.
so what you're saying is, I give you this hat of disguise, and you help to
I
keep...
fix your problems with Vanessa, leave the guards out of this. Yeah.
I don't necessarily have a problem with Vanessa. I'm simply trying to...
Oh, you sure do. Based off what the half-orc told me.
Holy crap, where did that come from?
Her big brain. Big brain.
Yeah, this is big brain time.
Okay, yeah, deception check again.
Oh, shit.
Here comes the 4.
Okay, real quick. The door was not locked, was it?
The door that you came in? No.
Okay, good.
Oh well, oh well.
Did he close the door?
The door to the back room, yes.
Crap. Okay.
The door to get into the shop is not locked. You were the one that closed that door. The door to the back
Yes,
room is
but
also not
to the
locked, but
back
he
door.
closed. The door to the
Alright.
back room where you are is shut, but not locked.
I can't look.
Oh, 12.
12?
Let's see.
I'm pretty sure he has to roll an insight to see if he sees through it, right?
Mhm.
Yes, he does.
Shit. There you go.
Kenneth!
It's the fan.
Kenneth, you son of a bitch, you jinxed it, motherfucker!
Jinxed it, called it, same thing.
No!
Alright. So,
Benny health thing, here we go. Alright. My priorities straight. Alright. Fuck. Okay, we're dead.
Nope.
he sort of gives you another look over, and then he's... You don't know Vanessa, do you? You don't even have any idea what's going on.
Hold person.
Oh,
Whole person?
crap.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh yep, alright. That's we're gonna be hunted by more people, but that works.
Nope. Hold person.
Alright, wisdom saving throw?
Yes.
Alright, let's see.
Please fail. Please fail. Please fail.
Everyone knows Vanessa.
Yes!
Yes, he did.
And be like, stop right there.
He failed?
He failed.
Ye-
Like, fuck.
Evan.
All right.
So, quickly, she gets up, goes, grabs the hat, and she darts out the door.
Wise.
After she grabs the bag of gems, too.
Because of course she does.
Yes, and when she
I
gets
mean, what's the
through the
worst a
front,
crime lord could do? I mean,
when she hits that front door, she's just like, run like hell.
all right, let's go.
Whoa! I'm on cat's head, so I know where he
However,
goes.
However-
Shit.
that conversation did take a little bit of time. So, let us.
No, it didn't.
Well, it took a couple minutes at the very least.
Oh, right, it does. Okay.
So, backing up the timeline a little bit, after Oak had heard Silver call out, that the half-orc was indisposed,
You've created a time paradox.
Dun, 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 dun.
he looks to Cad and Locke, and he sort of he gestures to his head as if asking Locke to do the awakened mind thing.
I blink up. You're giving me an awfully intense look. What is it?
I don't know if you heard it. Probably not, though it was fairly obvious. Silver said something about a half-orc being indisposed, so perhaps she is guising her reason to be here involving said person. So if we see a half-orc, we should probably do something about making sure that they don't make it into the shop and ruin her cover.
All right. I might be able to do this very thing we're doing right now to make it sound like someone's whispering at him from an alleyway and draw him away for a little bit. Not a permanent solution, but it wouldn't be super obvious.
That would probably be a good idea. And no sooner has...
Just for a second out of character, I want to point out how much I'm loving all the various uses I'm having for Awakened Mind.
Oh, I know. Awakened Mind is
It
a
is
very...
so useful to just...
Exactly.
Awakened Mind is a very cool trait. I actually really like it. That's why I almost always, whenever I have a warlock
I'm probably
character,
using it. I'm probably using it a little wrong, but oh well.
it says you have
Hey, it's
to
all up to the DM.
It says you have telepathy with willing targets, or not. It says you have telepathy with a target within 30 feet, basically, right?
Yeah.
So
The idea is that so long as both of us know a language, I can communicate with
yeah.
them.
So I don't see any problem with the way you're using it. You're using it as the same way you would any other normal conversation. It just happens to be telepathic.
Yeah. Which
And-
makes it really fucking easy to abuse.
Yes. So no sooner had that come out from Oak. No sooner had Oak spoke about that. Make for me, all three of said characters here, a perception check. So Locke, Oak, and Cad.
10.
Do I smell him coming?
Hit that 12 though.
With a 13, not quite.
I rolled a 10.
Then I'm more focused on looking like I belong here.
Yes. And no sooner has Oak said, affirming the situation, the mind link's still there. He looks off to the side and then sort of gestures off in a direction and goes, and there he probably is. And because he pointed it out, Locke now does see him.
Okay.
You see a half-orc individual. He looks like he's, dressed as if he's in a little bit finer clothes, but at the same time, because you yourself have sort of, been, traveling on the road a lot, you can sort of tell with the way he moves that this is not a person who enjoys the finer clothes, and you can also just barely see that he's got splotches of black, like soot, along his brow that he didn't quite catch when he was grooming himself a little bit better.
Sure. I'm assuming green skin because that's like
Yes,
most of the time.
green skin,
there are other colors.
green skinned half orc. He doesn't actually have like the long tusks, but he does have a discernible what is it? Not underbite, overbite. He has sort of the
Big ass tusks.
he doesn't have big tusks, but they're there, and you can tell that they're there.
Alright.
And so he's heading off in this general
No, it's
direction.
underbite for tusks.
Is it under? Yeah, it would be underbite for tusks. You're right.
Overbite is when the top is a lot further out.
Well, I know that. I was just under the impressions that tusks could go both ways, but I guess they can't technically. But anyway, moving on. Yeah. So this is your cue, Locke. If you were going to do a thing to distract this person.
A question that I thought I'd have more time to prepare a distraction. Okay.
He's
okay.
heading your way, and he hasn't necessarily actually noticed you guys yet.
Well, I gotta wait. Well, I gotta wait for him to get within 30 feet.
Yeah, he seems to be more focused on trying to make sure that he's cleaned up a little bit more than he actually is.
So when he was pointed out, would that have been
Yes.
through...
He gestured physically, but Cad actually doesn't know anything about this unless Locke had said something to him in Awakened Mind. Which
I
he
didn't get it. I haven't had a chance yet.
Nope.
But would I have seen him pointing or no?
Yes, you would have seen Oak point towards the half orc, but you don't know anything about what's going on necessarily.
Okay.
But you did see Oak gesture toward him.
All right.
I guess I could look up to Locke, not exactly knowing exactly the context, but that they were looking at someone approaching. Do you think we should move?
For a sec.
Okay, so what I'm gonna have happen is once this half orc is within 30 feet, like at the street corner, I'm gonna have it sound like off to his side, like maybe off in an alley or nearby-ish among the crowd of people somewhere. If there's a crowd, is there a crowd?
Not this late at night, but there are people that there are the nightlife, the night folk that are traversing the town, but it's not a super big crowd at the moment.
All right. Then somewhere amongst the people, I'm going to see if I can make it sound like someone amongst those scattered individuals is saying,
Tiny Kiwiskin tuskless mutt.
as he's like, make it sound like it's heading past the half worker from behind him somewhere with the Awakened Mind thingy.
You're using Awakened Mind to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So he sort of looks.
Wait, would the other character know they're being telepathically talked to?
It doesn't say anything about that, and I've already used it for this sort of misdirection in the past, so changing that now would just create inconsistency, so...
Okay.
Yeah. Roll me a deception check, sir.
Can I get advantage because...
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you. That is very kind of you. Luckily, deception is a skill I'm actually decent in.
Yes.
Not disadvantage, advantage. 17!
Okay. He sort of looks around a little bit, and then he's close enough to you guys. He sort of he actually notices the three of you sort of flanking the shop, but he just sort of shakes his head and shrugs it off, and you guys get the barest hint of a like growl, and he walks off towards this potential alley where he may have heard such a thing.
All right.
Okay.
All right, nice.
Okay.
That went better than expected.
Uh-huh.
Tiny kiwi-skinned tuskless mutt.
He didn't like that, apparently.
Yeah, I was expecting you guys sitting there trying to block him from entering the door, and Silver comes running out and runs into him.
No. Apparently not.
Okay.
He walked off at the current moment.
Locke's more subtle than that. He's demonstrated this.
So yeah, Oak sort of looks at Locke and that kind of worked better than expected. He actually
No
says
kidding.
this.
And yeah, no kidding. And you don't want to know what I said.
Probably not, but that's fine. Cad,
Oh,
for your Cad, for your benefit, since I don't know if Locke did awaken mind to you.
I didn't. Let me do that now. I'll then awaken mine and quickly relay the situation. Yeah, we want to keep a half orc out of the building at least until we're gone.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
boot to the door.
So yeah. A little bit after this moment, you guys are left wondering how well your tactic worked, and you see the half orc come back out of the alley, and he's making his way towards the shop, and at exactly the same time, out comes Silver.
Run for the hills.
All right. Well, I go wherever Cad goes, so because I'm riding on his shoulders right now, because he is best mount.
We have less than a minute. Keep running.
Well, if she is running, I would be following her.
All right, so we are now running through the streets, having swipes at hat
Yep.
and a bag of gems. So you sort of begin making your way running through the streets.
Taking alleys.
Duck and weave, dodge and weave, duck and weave,
Yeah.
dodge and weave.
Should I have you? I'm debating whether or not I should have you roll stealth or like survival to see if you can find the alleys quick enough in the dark. Although
Maybe
I think-
athletics.
No,
To like to see how well we're crossing the distance to get away.
we'll go with
Bonk.
well, actually, just roll me another perception, Silver. 11.
11.
Okay.
She's just like, nope, gotta get far away, far away. Keep going.
Alrighty. So
I have no idea what powers we may or may not have just pissed off. So.
Yep.
you sort of make your way through the streets, dodging people as best you can and getting into the back alleys. It's a good thing that it's at night and there's not as many people walking around. Otherwise, that tactic probably would not work very well.
When they have a chance, Silver's gonna put her hood up.
You would probably get a chance to do that as you're running anyway.
Does Locke even have a cloak? I forget. I don't think he does.
No.
I can like lift my ears up and wrap them around you.
Just
I don't think elephant ears quite work that way, but you're welcome to try.
I don't think.
I mean, I won't be able to see anything if you do that, though, and that's definitely going to look weird as hell because you're making a hat out of your own ears, and elephants don't usually do that.
I mean, I could make it look like a fashionable turban.
I guess.
I don't think it works that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I think elephant ears can always be tied into hats in a Disney cartoon. So.
So, okay.
Dumbo! Okay. Just quick aside. If Cad ever learns the flight spell and starts flying around, he is required now by law to flap his ears while he's flying.
So, since we're on the topic, it might become relevant in the future. Can I get an official GM-ly ruling? Am I like cute as in like Disney cartoon cute?
No.
I imagine not.
Okay. All right.
Probably like elephant.
But you do have big, huge elephant ears. So yes, I'm going to affirm Brian's statement. If Cad ever at any point for any reason is making use of the flight spell to fly, he must flap his ears.
Okay.
But not if it's cold, because then that'll only make me colder. But okay, fine.
So, would you say it's safe enough for us to start heading back to the tavern?
Roll
That
for
Silver knows of.
roll for me stealth to see how well you keep to the alleys. And this is just Silver because she's the one that's guiding this group.
And on the way, I'll like awaken by and ask, so why are we running? Did negotiations break down?
Oh shit!
That's a 5.
Quick,
And
out
also-
in the middle of this open town square. No one will see you. We'll hide amongst all these people.
Stand perfectly still and pretend to be a statue. That works every time. Twilight Sparkle has proven it.
Alright, so, Silver,
I thought
you,
stealth was like trying to hide, not navigate alleyways.
well, you're using it to see how well you can quietly traverse said alleyways.
Would
So
survival be sort of a tracking, pathfinding sort of thing? And stealth is how calm and collected you're doing it?
Stealth is like knowing the path. Survival is knowing like the pathways and stuff of getting from one place to the next.
Well, you're trying to navigate by way of these tracks to
Yeah, so
the...
you can roll
Yeah, trying to
survival.
navigate through alleyways to get back to the tavern. I didn't say anything about hiding.
You can roll survival as well then,
11.
and another 11. Okay,
So at least you know what direction you're going, but you sound like him and stuff's crashing everywhere.
Right.
You expended your 20s.
Yep.
all right.
After
Like,
someone
so-
said
really
something.
awesome.
So
After someone
Um,
said something.
you are making your way through the alleyways, not as stealthily as you would have liked, but you are making your way back towards. Are you going back to the tavern that you bought a room at, the Sparkling Wishes?
Yes.
All right.
So, conversation along the way?
Yes, conversation via Awakened Mind along the way.
Oh, view. Wake a mind. Okay.
So,
Or conversation out
really?
loud, either or.
When they're talking, does that mean I get a busy signal?
No. However, you can talk outwardly because there's no reason for you to make use of Awakened Mind here, really. So.
All right, well, in the open then. So, why are we running? Did negotiations burn down or something?
She holds up the hat, a bag of gems, and then be like, it started off fantastic until he started pulling out names that I've never heard of. And then he started catching on.
What's with the gems? We didn't come for gems.
Oh, he had this stored away in a spot that they didn't belong. So I wanted to check these out.
Okay, I mean, they don't necessarily belong with us either, but all right.
I want to check them out and then use them to try to figure out more information about stuff that he said, because shady business, and I would like to stop that shady business.
All right, fair enough. Here's hoping that you didn't just piss off powers even greater than the ones we were getting this hat to hide from.
That's fine.
Is it though? Is it really?
No, no, it's not. Probably would have been a lot better.
Short answer, you panicked.
Yeah, I panicked. Also, why am I the only one that went into that building?
You told us to stay outside, I think.
Good point.
To be fair, I can't actually remember if that's true or not.
You did.
We were guarding
Actually,
your
it is.
escape.
Oh, thank you. That's a lot of better excuse right there.
I mean, if
Um,
it's worth it, I mean, if it's any consolation, we were able to make that half-orc fuck off in another direction.
Really?
Yeah, I
You did hear me?
Which
okay.
I heard you, and which, by the way, Locke distracted him just long enough for you to come bursting through the doors, and we all start running. So
Yeah, he was like
He would-
20 feet
he-
away when you came out, so.
he would have saw us running away. Had he not done that, he would have probably been wandering the inside of the shop when you come running out. So
That's fine. Because all I wanted to do was go in and take a look at the jewelry and see if any of them were faked and try to use that leverage against him with the authorities. Oh,
Well, I mean,
that's what my plan was.
well, it obviously hasn't gone that way now, has it?
Problem number one. You went to a shady individual and used the word Authorities.
I didn't use the word authorities until after.
Either way, we will figure out the rest of this as we go along. But, yeah. And as the group is making their way back towards the Sparkling Wishes, you, as you're making your way back into the doorway to rest for the night, the devilish tiefling that is the sort of
The posh Frenchman.
yes, he is the doorman basically. He is actually not at the door when you guys come through. The person at the door instead is a what amounts to a Goliath bouncer, male, different from any Goliath y'all have seen so far. I've introduced a lot of Goliaths in this town, I've realized. But that's fine.
I only vaguely remember one other, and I think he was a bartender.
No, there was the one that was the bouncer towards the Prancing Tom, and there was another lady one that was sitting at the bar that bought Cat a drink, and this is the third one.
Yes. I have also introduced other other Goliaths that were among the crowd when you visited the tavern the first time. But anyway.
Right.
I mean, this Goliaths tend to be around mountainous regions, and Rydell is right next to a mountainside, so...
I mean, it's literally right over here, yeah, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So, that being said,
Silver walks in, she's instantly suspicious of him.
Oh, really? Okay.
She's just like kind of looking him over, kind of not really like side-eyed kind of thing, and just like, new person, okay.
All right. And
He's not
as you
saying anything.
as you make your way inside, of course he knows that you guys have purchased rooms and things. They have a means to keep track of such a thing that the devilish tiefling maintains. Names and descriptions and the like of potential people who would be, having rooms and things.
Yeah.
And as you make your way inside past him, you see a certain white-haired dwarf that is waiting on the inside of the doorway.
Young.
Yes, young.
I forget she had white hair.
No, she's like speaking out. She has white hair and then like a goatee.
White hair and subtle white facial hair. Yeah.
Okay.
For whatever reason, I always thought it was either blonde or silver. I don't know. Right.
Yeah. Silverish white. So.
Shady.
No, Silver is like calling out to Young.
Oh. Well, there you are. What'd you do?
Where'd you go?
I had something to deal with. I mean...
You could at least said that before you disappeared on us.
I was assuming that... Well, okay, fine. I made a mistake again. Look.
Locke is just going to give her an increasingly intense stink eye.
She puts her hands up and she's... To be completely transparent, this is what it was. When we decided to come to Rydell, she sort of gestures towards Oak. Oak was right. I received a message from someone who is important to me that lives here in Rydell, and I went to visit with her for a little bit. And I assumed that Oak made that connection and told you, but I guess he didn't. We kind of have other things to deal with right now, Yang, to really worry about such a thing. Fine. Okay.
You know this town?
Better than some, yeah, sure.
Okay, have you ever heard of the name Vanessa? Silver's actually being quiet to Yang, so like no one really near hears.
Not that I can recall. No, it must be somebody new. I mean, what's up?
She's just like kind of like gestures with her hands a little bit and stuff, and then eventually gives a hat to Cad.
You now have a hat, Cad. Congratulations.
Yay.
It looks
If he
Anyway.
complete.
puts that on, if he puts that on, am I going to have to get off?
I would imagine. Oak speaks up. I would imagine that the disguise self spell would only work on him. So
Right. So just saying
Yeah.
a scrawny teenager floating a couple feet above whatever he decides to look like would be a little. You have no idea how great the view is from up here, and I hop down.
Does it actually change your height?
How'd you get
or
through the
just your
doorway?
appearance?
He ducked, and I ducked.
Okay.
yeah, the way disguise self works, as per the spell,
Mhm.
you make yourself, including your clothing, armor, weapons, and other belongings on your person, look different until the spell ends or until you use your action to dismiss it. You can seem 1 foot shorter or taller and can appear thin, fat, or in between. You can't change your body type, so you must adopt a form that has the same basic arrangement of limbs. Otherwise, the extent of the illusion is up to you. But the changes from these spells fail to hold up upon physical inspection. So, for example, you are a Loxodon. You're obviously going to disguise yourself as something that is not a Loxodon. Some other relatively big race, such as like maybe a half-orc or a Goliath or a Goliath or any sort of thing of that nature. However, if someone was to brush past you in just the right way, they could technically still feel your ears because you have big ears.
Right. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it says that you could change size up to a foot. That's
You-
fairly significant. And
you
you can
can-
make yourself thin.
You can make yourself seem a foot shorter or taller. You don't actually change height. It is an illusion, but
Right.
It's,
Okay.
it's not a polymorph thing, so.
Gotcha.
you are going. It is an illusion that changes your overall appearance, which is why you can't go much higher than a foot or shorter than a foot, because otherwise you would have a like human disguised as a halfling, and then all of a sudden the halfling gets clotheslined by somebody who doesn't realize the halfling is taller. Because it doesn't change your
Right.
actual.
But what did it say about body type specifically? Not like build, but body type and appendages or something?
You must adopt a form that has the same basic arrangement of limbs. So you can't necessarily change yourself to look like a four-legged creature because you're a two-legged creature.
Gotcha. But
That's
giant ears and trunk and or tusks or whatever don't
That's fine.
necessarily have to be part of the new
Right.
appearance.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
And it's sort of whatever I want to look like is what it does when I put it on my head, or what?
Yep.
I would not
It's
put it on just yet until you're like alone in a room.
So here's the thing. One, it requires attunement, so you're going to have to sort of rest with the hat at some point to actually make use of the spell. And then two, the spell itself lasts for an hour, but you can cast the spell at will as long as you're wearing the hat.
Gotcha. So it would be sort of like, it's been 45 minutes, I'm going to re-up it, so
Mm-hmm.
stop
Yeah.
every hour.
Yep.
Okay,
Oh.
sounds good.
All right. Silver's just gonna attempt to find a quiet table. Quotations.
It's quieter at
And-
in the evening hours, yeah.
I thought it'd get rowdy at night.
Well, the inside of the tavern where the show and all that stuff gets a little bit rowdier at night, but where most of the people dine, it sort of evens out in the later part of the night.
She's going to look at the bag of gems. Can she guess how much it is and like what kind of gems?
Unfortunately, 5th edition doesn't have appraise. So, investigation?
Probably.
No, it's just a bag of what? Uncut gems?
Yeah, it seems to be a bag of mostly uncut gems, and you're not really able to figure out or ascertain how much any of them's worth. It looks to be at least vast majority based on what your own exposure to gems. It does look to be mostly of the though uncut, it looks to be mostly of the like 10 gold variety of gems. Nothing too terribly fancy, at least as far as you can tell.
Okay. That helps further my plans. I think.
um,
She's going to look at Yang and be like, okay, this may sound a little odd because of what happened with my previous character, but is there a popular whorehouse?
Somewhere nearby, Locke has a spit take as he's sipping on some water.
exactly what was the question?
Is there a popular whorehouse?
Okay, I was making sure I heard
Yes.
the question right. Okay.
Is there a building where dicks enter things?
Oh, God, please, can we not go that way? I'm trying to avoid those terms very much.
Sorry.
yes,
I mean, Locke is 16, so
He's 16,
point.
but he understands.
anyway.
Not for the reason you think.
He knows what a whorehouse is what I mean.
Paladin asking DM, where's the pop? Do you know where the popular whorehouse is?
Yeah,
I mean, that's an out of context if I've heard one.
Our
Okay.
like barbarian, the divine penetration.
all right. So, Young's like
that now.
Actually, yes. The idle tomcat. It's relatively nearby. So, I mean, what do you have going on, Silver?
I'm going to go get information.
From a whorehouse?
Look, you get a lot of people that are drunk. They like to talk and try to
I
show off
suppose
a little
that's
bit
true.
to impress the companions of the night.
That's true.
So there might be a good place to find some good rumors.
All right.
And since they've probably been here longer and seen most of the people of town, they can help me locate these people.
Okay. I will say, I made the mistake before of sending somebody into the idle tomcat alone, so I'm going to go with you to do this little.
No. I mean, you can come along. It's just I would need to talk to the person alone.
Oh, obviously, I'm saying that we would go
Okay, thank
in
you.
together so that I can be there in case something goes wrong.
And why was it a mistake taking someone to the whorehouse?
I let a friend in while she was drunk, and she sort of wasn't all wares, and then wasn't happy about it later. Oh well, I guess she technically was happy, just not at me.
This is very meta, and I love it.
Okay. Right. Well, I'm not drunk, so I have a good sense of mind. So you can not worry about that.
Right. Anyway,
Do we need to stand guard for you?
No, you do whatever you do.
what have I gotten myself into? Oak is just like got his.
I will explain all what happened at the jewelry store along the way, okay?
So what? We're all going to go towards the idle tomcat then?
But I thought Kat and I were staying here.
Oh, I mean, you two are more than welcome to come along. I'm sure you could use the experience.
Locke is turning a very furious shade of tomato at that implication.
So,
Silver laughs.
so by dodging the
I will pay.
situation, we have conquered it and still gained the experience without having to go through the experience, right?
Ah.
Anyway.
Anyway.
I'm going to use Mage Hand to slap Silver in the back of the head.
Her expression quickly changes, and she glares at you.
So when Silver invites us to go with her to this wonderful trip, I sort of like instinctively slap hands over Locke's face, shake my head, and back away slowly with Locke.
Like after I smack her with the Mage Hand, of course.
Silver slowly gets up. Like, do you want to do that again?
Once was enough. Cat, I can't see.
Okay. Also, I was joking. And good choice, Cad.
Can't tell when
My
people
eyes
are
are really
joking.
large, and I just slowly nod.
All right. So,
Eventually, like I'll have Locke like just pry Cad's hands off and just mutter.
You think I'd be more comfortable with the concept of seeing a raw boob? I've seen kids' chests explode for fuck's sake.
how about
But no, female nudity terrifies me.
we all go get some rest, and those of us that want to go on
getting information.
I realize that. What I'm saying is, those of us who want to go out and get some more information can do so, and those of us who need rest can get rest. And I need another drink. Hey, waiter.
I'm going now.
Well, Oak is getting another drink. He's not going to go with you.
Oh, this is Oak.
Yeah, that was Oak that was doing
I
that.
assumed it was Young. Okay, that's fine. Enjoy.
Moving on, Young and Silver make their way over to the idle Tomcat. Silver, for the first time, sees the illusionary sort of cat that serves as the signpost and mascot of sorts, though it is not a real cat. And
that's cute and colorful.
yeah. And Young is like, so before we go in here, what is your actual plan?
Find the most popular person. That usually gets a lot of, with like finger quotations, customers. And get her alone in a room and ask her questions. Hopefully
Okay.
entice her with this bag of gems.
Okay.
So basically, what I'm doing is using criminal money, maybe, to find out more information about that criminal
Okay.
crime. Whatever.
All right. So Young sort of. All right.
She also
And-
explains all that happened
Right.
in the jewelry store.
So okay. You're going to look into this person, this Vanessa, as it was, to see
Yeah,
if
something to do with the mines. And then what was okay? Out of character. What's the other place you said? There was the mines.
he said
And
when you mentioned that the half orc was indisposed, he said, "Is there trouble in the mines or is there trouble in paradise?" That was the phrase he used. So taking the trouble in
Right.
paradise as not a literal sense, he was speaking of the mines, and he was speaking of some sort of relationship that may be between some sort of business that he was having
some
with.
business that's higher up that can have now that Silver's here, she's like, right, okay, paradise. It could be a name for another place. It could be a euphemism. Who knows?
We don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Alright. So in we go. I do know that probably the most popular one there is not going to be hard to find. So yeah, you're looking for a drow.
A drow? How do you know this?
Because this isn't the first time I've been here. The most popular
Well,
one
I
here
already
is a drow.
figured that.
The most popular one here is a drow.
Okay. Guy, girl,
Girl.
something in between.
Girl. Very girl.
Oh.
Uh,
Oh. Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Silver slightly, like, kind of fidgets. Like, okay.
Anyway, moving on.
Right.
So,
I should have gotten a drink of courage before I did this, but let's go anyways.
walking up to the building, you find the female Goliath that I introduced to Ribbon previously, who is standing
Hello
guard
again
as-
from a view of a different character.
Yes. And she is sort of guarding the area as a bouncer of sorts. And
Oh, and Silver didn't take the time to get out of her armor. Okay.
no,
So
she
yeah, she's
didn't.
just strolling up, going clank, 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 clank.
Shink, shank, rattle, rattle.
Yeah.
So she sort of, the Goliath sort of looks the two of you over and looks over to Young and do you lead somebody else here?
No, I am not drunk.
You're also still in armor.
Yeah, which is my part. I have had a very busy day, and it slipped my mind.
Right.
Clank, 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 going up the steps.
Okay. So, are you here for a night? Just want to talk? Just showing... She sort of looks to Young. Just sort of showing her around this time? What?
Yeah, I would like a night with a popular person.
Sort of...
What was that?
The Goliath tilts her head at you and goes, uh-huh. I hope you got the gold for that. Our popular person isn't exactly cheap.
Let her be the judge of that, then. Silver is trying to be smooth. Normally she is smooth, but with this, she's just like, it's clear she's like slightly off.
Yes. Alright, so...
She hasn't even gotten in the door.
Alright, fine. Come on in. And the Goliath walks off to the side to let Young and Silver inside. Going inside, you see all manner of races and peoples for potential company. And after a moment, you're sort of there looking around, and give me a perception check. Silver.
Please let her be occupied with someone else.
How distracted is she
talking.
by what she sees?
Let's find out.
It depends. What other kinds of races are there?
Just about any sort of races that you would potentially, anyone would be potentially attracted to, large and small.
Elves.
Oh yeah, there's definitely elves.
Okay, then yeah, she is slightly distracted. 15.
Okay. So, looking around, as you just got through saying, you were drawn to the elves, and in particular, you see a rather exquisitely dressed female drow who is currently sitting at a table next to a door with a looks sort of like a glass of wine, but you're not entirely sure what sort of wine she has.
Uh-huh.
It's blood.
Is she just by herself? Figured there would be people hounding her for.
Currently, she is sitting at the table with the glass and completely just like there are people around her and some are talking to her and speaking to her, but she's seems to be waving a lot of them off and not really talking to them.
So is there like one that's being like persistent?
Yeah, there is. In particular, it is a it's actually a human male, and she just has zero interest in him, like entirely. But
Like Silver is just like kind of like just just looking around, slowly moves closer until eventually she's gonna try to make a smooth move by going up and trying to deter the guy away and be like, I think you get the clear message. Go away.
I was taking a relaxing break. Some people can't get the hint. What can I do for you? Says the drow.
Silver was talking to the guy.
She was. The guy was pushed off to the side and was keeping his focus on the drow, and the drow is the one that answered you. Also, when you got closer and pushed him away, it wasn't very hard to push him away, and you got the distinct impression very quickly that he was drunk,
Very much. So,
like very drunk.
does he do anything?
He, you sort of push him away a bit, and
She
and he
basically grabs his shoulder and turns him too far.
you turn him towards you.
Yeah, to face Silver. Yes.
Okay. So he's sort of befuddled for a moment, and then
For whatever reason, my brain immediately jumped to, so he tries to punch you in the face.
I know.
um
I'm prepared for anything.
Suddenly, a giant 29-foot tall red dragon tears off the roof and abducts the drow. Were you prepared for that?
okay. Yeah,
Silver would
actually-
just sat there and been like, oh, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Wise choice. You have passed.
Actually, he is going to take a swing at you
Ah, great. I put ideas in the Dungeon Master's head. Wonderful.
and miss terribly.
Can I just retaliate with like a backhand?
Or cast
yeah.
Cure Poison to cure him of being drunk so that he realizes
don't
he's being
have-
a fucking dumbass.
I don't have cure pierce.
Shit. All right.
Okay. Roll for me a basic.
Wait, actually,
Roll for me a basic melee hit if you want to smack him.
I could do a lesser restoration.
You could.
Which would remove drunkenness, wouldn't it? Because
I can touch a creature, so I'm going to backhand him and cast lesser restoration.
Fair enough. Roll for an attack. Oh, actually, you're not even going. You're not using it to attempt to attack him. You're just sort of smacking him to the side, and lesser restoration.
Yeah, and be like, get out of here.
Okay.
Wise up. You're being a dick. Leave.
So you sort of smack him upside the head, and he falls to the side, and there's this brief moment of spark of magic, and then he sort of, wait, what? Huh? And he sort of figures out where he is and looks around, and the drow sort of looks down at him from the table. You should probably leave now. And he like backs up and then gets up and stumbles away.
So we're just watching him leave before sitting down. There is multiple chairs at the table, right?
Oh yeah, there is. And she wasn't. She very clearly was. Actually, um, when there were people around her, and at the points when Silver was starting to walk up, with your 15 perception previously, you would have noticed that when some of those were trying to sit down, a lot of the people that were around her were very drunk. Um, and as she was trying to sit down, as others were trying to sit down at the one chair that's across from her, the chair was just suddenly moving to the side a few feet before the person tried to sit down, and they
kept
fall.
falling down.
Yes. Different
She was
people.
amusing herself.
She was. So, she
So
actually
does the
lets
chair
you
move as Silver attempted to sit?
She actually does let you sit down. She sort of waves her hand, and you see this very subtle flurry of magic that's in the space next to the chair, opposite from the side that you sat down, and then the nothing.
Did she have a bob?
Possibly. Anyway, what can I do for you? Judging from the armor, you're not here for any of the fun.
Well, how do you know? She just takes the bag and sets it in front of... Silver sets the bag in front of herself.
Well then. Interesting. Is that all for me?
Could be.
What's your name?
Ira.
Ray. She sort of offers her hand out to you. Shake your hand, obviously.
Okay. She shakes her hand back.
Or, you could
And
kiss her hand, but
you
she would have
are-
been you could kiss her hand, she'd be fine with that too, but, Unray.
Pleasure to meet you. She slightly, winces. It's like, oh god, I shouldn't have used that word.
That's actually rather close to accurate, except the hair and the outfit are different colors. But yes. Also, her eyes don't glow red.
It's supposed to be like...
Oh wait, Droud's eyes would glow red, don't they?
They glow whatever color. They glow whatever color they are.
Yeah.
Red, purple, orange,
White.
Yeah,
silver.
okay. Unray's eyes are purple, so yeah. Sort of flip the colors around between her outfit and her eyes, and then her hair is long and, what was it, was it dark red that I said? Or was it...
No.
I recall
black.
it being black, personally.
Yeah,
but
black. Black. But yeah, pretty close. Anyway, so
That's...
she said her name, Unray, which is that.
I'm crazy enough to take on Batman, but the IRS? No, thank you.
Okay, so
Yeah. No, it's just like... So... Is there a place where we can talk with...
you look like a woman on a mission.
I've had a busy day. Yes, I kind of am on a mission.
All right.
So is there... Probably... does it have... Oh my god.
Technically, I'm taking a break at the moment. So we can have a chat here. If you want to speak with something a little bit more privately, we can do that after a few more minutes.
I can wait. I think I could use a drink as well.
All right. She sort of snaps her fingers. Marnie! And a sort of... the way she comes in, it's stumbled as if she's uh not quite the most graceful sort. And in comes a like a half elf, probably mid to late 20s, and she sort of stumbles with a set of drinks, and Unray's just nah, and the plate that was starting to fall lands without hitting the ground and just lands floating in the air.
Does the half elf fall down?
No, she tripped. She caught herself rather than trying to catch.
Silver was gonna try to catch her.
She caught herself rather than catching the plate. You could catch the plate before the unseen servant does.
No, Silver was gonna try to catch the half elf.
Oh, okay. No, she caught herself. And
Okay,
she's
then she just stays sitting.
yeah, here. And she sets out drinks for the two of you.
And what kind of drink is this?
Rather fancy ale. Not super high dollar, but it's up there.
How much?
What do you say we take it out of some of that payment in gems that you may be giving me later?
Sure.
Now, assuming you don't want to discuss everything privately, give me a little more information about why you may be here. Besides the obvious, of course.
You know, just to have a nice, lovely chat.
Cue universal implosion from hard cringing.
Look, I'm sorry that I'm making you cringe so much.
I'm not.
Cringing. It's not you. It's not me. Who cringing? You should be worried about. I'm grinning like a little bitch over here. It's Locke who's cringing.
She sort of smiles and chuckles. I see. People in places like this talk. You're looking more for information than anything else. Alright.
Can you read minds?
Inside your head, with a smirk on her face, inside your head you hear, sometimes.
Aren't you just a clever one?
Coy little fox.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, you know what? I was wanting to finish up a breakout here, sort of watch the crowd. I like sort of helping.
I mean, we can keep doing that if you want.
No, you want to discuss something privately. Come on. And she, with one hand, she grabs your bag of gems that you set on the table, and the other hand she offers out to you.
Miss Silver, like, instinctively grabs at the bag, too. I'll keep holding on to this.
Feisty. I like it. Okay, come on.
She follows.
And you go inside the room that was next door to the table that she was sitting at. It's a nice posh room.
Okay.
Ever so slightly fancier than even the sparkling the sparkling wishes that you were in before.
What was Yang doing, by the way? Because I know she followed me.
She followed you inside, and she was sort of watching off to the side as you were interacting with the drow, and she is going to attempt to make herself scarce. Let's see how well she does this. Because she does not want to get wrapped up in something inadvertently. She did not roll well.
No.
Okay. So, Young is not necessarily the most attractive sort, so most people are giving her a wide berth, but so she ends up.
There's still a lot of people.
She ends up being a little bit less. I'm going to hide in the shadows and be a fly on the wall, and more wallflower, because not a lot of people are paying attention to her. And she doesn't go out of her way to speak to anybody. Although, if Silver takes a look back, before she
It
heads,
shouldn't be like, oh,
if Silver takes a look back before she heads into the room, she will see that Young has now, rather than just being a wallflower and sticking out like a sore thumb, she has struck up a conversation with the Goliath bouncer that's walked on inside at this point.
Silver like looked back to try to give her a look like, what have I gotten myself into? But sees that she's busy and just be like, well, okay. I'm on my own.
So Young does get a passing glance to see you go inside, and she sort of she sort of gives you a thumbs up as if to try to encourage you, and she knows that you went that way.
Doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. I know.
Okay.
Young is not really a people person, not very. So
Like, I'm not trying. Okay.
yep. You move inside.
Nice,
Unrace,
pretty room. Okay.
Unrace sits on the bed. And so, what did you have in mind?
Well, since you seem to have read my mind, yes, I did come in looking for information.
Not hard to figure out. A lot of people come in here looking for information, if not just for the fun. And
I
surprisingly,
figured it would be a bit more towards the fun.
a lot of people are. But if somebody comes in here on a mission, 9 times out of 10 they're wanting information more than just fun. And a lot of times they'll come to me. You make it, though. You're more interesting than most people.
Why? Because I showed up in armor?
Well, that's part of it. The other half is I like your scales.
Silver blushes. Like, well, thank you. Yeah, Silver, like, pulls out a few of the gems. I got this from an acquaintance. And I'm assuming this is from a mine, freshly.
Looks that way, yeah.
How much would you say these are?
Being uncut like that, most would probably be worth 10 gold apiece. Based on the size of the bag, you're probably looking at maybe 60, 70 gold. Well, no. You're probably looking at 100 gold's worth there. Maybe a platinum piece. At least.
100 gold is 10 platinum.
Yes, she said that. Sorry. My brain clicked.
Okay.
Although there might be another another more high dollar gem hiding in that bag somewhere. It doesn't look to be very sorted.
We can look through later. Yeah, I'm looking for the place that these might have come from. There's like a mine.
I mean, we do have a mines and coal miners and other various sorts that work up to over towards the west.
Is it just one mine here in town?
Well,
Or is there multiple different mines?
There's multiple mines within that one mountainside, yes, but for the most part, most rare gems come from one in particular mine. Most of the other mines are used for coal and iron and other such materials.
Oh, okay. She's just like, well, this is tied to a store called something Tiara?
The Dazzling Tiara was the name of the store.
That's like,
Missed opportunity to call it the Diamond Tiara, but alright.
no, just the bedazzled. It sounds cheaper that way.
Yes.
There's that, plus a phrase that I heard of the mind or in paradise.
Hmm.
Does that ring a bell or anything?
Well, the Dazzling Tiara is a very crude place. The owner doesn't necessarily have the best sense of style, yet he tries to sell to most of the elite in town.
Which I think he's probably scamming them since he likes to hide behind a disguise. Anyway,
Oh, really?
hat.
I didn't know that one. Interesting.
It was a lucky guess.
Well, either way, I would wager
And also
that
might be tied to someone by the name of Vanessa.
Vanessa.
Yes.
I only know one Vanessa that lives in this town.
I mean, there's probably multiple, but if you know one.
Well, as I said, I only know of one Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't likely. Interesting.
Who is this? Would you elaborate?
Vanessa.
Pulling out another gem.
Vanessa was actually someone who used to work here for a time. She volunteered her time. She didn't stay here as long as I usually do, or some of the others. And then all of a sudden, somebody comes along and she goes steady. Says that she can't stay here anymore. Somebody sweet talked their way into her heart, apparently. Or so she said. Whether that has anything to do with what's going on now, I don't know. But
Well, what is this person? Would you know of the person that talked their way into her heart?
I never got a name. Some half-orc. At least I think it was a half-orc.
Did Silver see the half-orc?
Briefly,
came out?
you did. Briefly, yeah, you would have.
Could she recall anything from the half-orc?
Typical half-orc features, and he was covered in soot.
Oh, he dressed nicely but was covered in soot.
He wasn't covered in soot anymore. He was dressed nicely and had some blotches of where he hadn't cleaned himself as well as he would have wanted to. So he had splotches of soot, but he was dressed nicely. But clearly not comfortable in it. The Silver wouldn't have saw him long enough to catch that.
Yeah, so
And I'm going to hopefully not turn this into the Silver show. I'll spin it back to the other
So-
characters in a moment.
okay.
We're sleeping. Back to Silver.
Because that is kind of true. You guys are sleeping while we're going and talking
Yes.
about.
Yes.
Okay.
So
we
switching back to the group would be switching to the next day. However, we got to figure out what Silver's doing with her night, if anything. So,
It really depends on how the night goes.
And we're
Oh,
kind of on her
or
mission.
comfort.
Here, 'cause this is a stepping stone to fixing up shit over in Caberton. So I don't mind if she takes the reins for all. This is technically her.
Her domain. She's trying to figure out like, okay, how could she fix this up and use things? Hopefully, tie criminals things to other places. Who knows?
yes. All right.
She's trying to be Batman.
Uh-huh.
I'm Batman.
Right. She's a much sexier Batman, but yes.
It's subjective.
I'm Batman.
If you're in the men, you know.
Don't do that.
She's Batwoman. There. Right.
Anyway,
she's just like, she'll sit there and ask, like, was he fancy dressed? If you've seen him?
I never saw the half-orc,
Oh, okay.
but based on the information that I heard from others, he swept Vanessa off her feet and spent a lot of his time working in the mines. If that helps.
I might have gotten a glimpse of him, but who knows?
Well, then this might be the very same Vanessa. Small world, I suppose.
Maybe. Who knows? Right. Yeah, let's go ahead and just, like, take a look at all these gems. She just kind of, like, dumps the bag. Just
Alright.
be like,
Roll.
what's actually in this? Worth this?
So, here's what I'm going to do. Rather than trying to figure out what the potential score Ray would have to her investigation, she's helping you look through the bags. Roll investigation with an advantage.
Well, she's just, you know, dumping the bag and being like, ooh, what's pretty?
Yes, I get that, but you're still looking through and investigating, sort of appraising the gems better with them all separated out.
No, Silver doesn't know.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'll have Ray appraise the gems then.
okay.
See here. Do a quick double check.
If she doesn't get a high score, a high roll, this is gonna be interesting.
See here. Quick, simple question to Brian, since he would know this, doing a little bit more in 5e. What level does one have to be to have proficiency bonus at +5?
Let me look at literally any of the class overviews. To get a proficiency bonus of +5, you have to be level 13 or higher.
Okay, that's not too bad then. Alright,
And proficiency bonus caps at +6.
gotcha. Alright, so, this is investigation, which is intelligence, I think, right?
Yep.
Yep.
It's int.
So, this is why I love 5e, because I can, on the fly, make a skill check and it's actually balanced. +5 because of her level in the class that she is. She would have investigation as one of her proficiencies, and I was going to give her a +2. Int's not necessarily one of her best stats, but it's not one of her lowest. So 7. Boom.
Wait, isn't she a wizard?
No, she is not a wizard.
Ooh, okay.
Sorcerer or bard is what I would guess.
Yep,
Which one?
bard.
Makes sense. Bard seduce.
So
things.
she has high oh yeah, of course, high charisma.
Yeah,
It's the charisma, yes, right now. Anyway.
very.
I'm seduce you.
She's a lot like that one character that I had in my Naruto game. She has very nice
Yeah,
charisma.
just
Anyway, so
yes, and Silver is still slightly fidgeting because she's trying. Like, okay.
well, would you look here? Somebody's doing some wheeling and dealing, as it were. And she holds up 3 gems in her hand. They look to be a lot like the rest of the gems that was in amongst the ones that you had. She sort of holds them up. These these aren't real gems. These are fake.
Well, you have a good eye. I was looking for proof of shady dealings. I was looking for proof of shady dealings.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me considering the what some people have said about the dazzling tiara. I didn't have a horrible experience there, but some have.
Oh, have you been there?
I have been there. That's why I find it very interesting that you bring up somebody making use of a hat of disguise.
Let me guess, you dealt with the halfling?
No. He wasn't a halfling at the time, but now I understand better what he had going on. At the time, he was disguising himself as a dwarf. A rather short dwarf, but a dwarf.
Yeah, actual gnome.
Either way, these three are fake. And she sort of sets them to the side. I do not...
How could you tell they were fake?
She picks them up. She picks them up again. She picks them up again. One, I've dealt with a lot of gems. Two, the glint doesn't quite reflect off the light properly on some of these. And then three, she shatters the three of them into dust. They were a lot more brittle. She cleans off her hand.
Pretty strong too. Okay.
I'm not, dear. These were just very brittle. You could snap some of these, I'm sure. You look to be a lot stronger than me, either way.
Well, how can you tell? I'm covered in armor.
Exactly.
Exactly.
She smiles.
You're moving that shit.
Silver gives a nice flashy smile.
Well,
And I'm guessing, can we go to the next day?
all right.
Was that you implying? Okay, now
Yep.
take the armor off.
Yeah, it'd be like, how can you tell under all this armor? Anyway.
Okay.
Fair
Okay.
enough. Fair enough. All right then.
How much gems does she lose out of the bag? Or does she? Actually, no.
Yes.
She'll probably just leave the whole bag with her, because Silver has no need for it now.
Yep. I mean, you can. She'd be fine with that.
Yep, she's just gonna do that.
All right. So that happens. The next
And
morning,
someone has a crush.
just like your other character, kind of.
No, my other character doesn't have a crush. She was more ashamed of like, oh, what have I done?
Right.
Like, oh shit, that wasn't supposed to happen. Oh no.
Alrighty then. So,
What happened to Yang? Did Yang just like gave up?
Young stayed inside the shop, the idle tomcat for a bit, and then when it got into the later parts of the night, and she realizes that Silver was fine, and she didn't hear any kind of crazy like yells of danger or anything of that sort, she assumed that Silver was well taken care of herself, and she wandered back to the Sparkling Wishes.
Okay.
And when she got there, she was greeted with Oak. And Oak, not that any of the other people here saw this, because Oak stayed up a little bit longer, and he's... Alright, so you came back, but she's staying. Good. Is she... I'm assuming she's okay? Yes, I think. Anyway.
You think? Unbeknownst, she could have been silenced.
I will assume she'll make her way back. If not, then I've made yet another mistake.
You need to stop fucking doing that.
And the two of them wander back. He's speaking of. I think Brian was referring to Young making mistakes.
Yes.
So Young wanders back inside. Oak goes back inside. The next morning comes. Locke and Cad get a very nice peaceful rest.
Yay!
The beds
Yay!
here. The beds here are much better than any bed you've had for a while, Cad.
So it gives us 10 temporary HP, right?
That's not how that works. But yeah, the beds are much better. And the morning comes, and I'm assuming that Silver returns a lot less flustered than Riven did previously.
Yeah.
Because Riven was a jittery mess.
We all stayed in separate rooms, right?
Yes.
Of course.
Would I have had enough time to attune to my hat?
Yes, you would.
Yeah.
So I walk up and very playfully and not knowing my apparent strength for appearances, I walk up to Locke and smack him in the shoulder. Say, "How you doing, brother?" Well, I guess he wouldn't sound like that. "How you doing, brother?"
Locke goes flying across the room to crash through a nearby wall. No. No.
Not quite that hard, but
I was just joking. I was just picturing like when Goku
Or
clapped
Locke
on
just
the back of the
bends
shield.
over his fists and all broken and
Well,
shattered.
like, where is this? I'm assuming this is in a common room, right?
Yeah, probably.
and to be a little bit more specific, I look like a half elf. Specifically, I look like I could be Locke's brother.
Oh,
A
okay.
very tall half
You
elf.
would be a very large half elf, but yes.
I
All
mean,
right.
I could try and be a foot short. I'm still
Oh, yeah.
technically medium, aren't I?
Yeah,
Yes.
you are. This is true. So
So I go
you-
from a very tall medium to a very,
All right.
but
So-
only
I
in
figured-
appearances.
Okay.
Loxodons are like around 7 feet, right? Or taller.
Loxodons. Let me double check Loxodon's typical height.
I think they're at the high end of medium.
Right. Yeah. Loxodons are typically between 7 and 8 feet tall.
Okay, so he can be like a 6 foot tall elf,
How-
which is
How tall would a half elf be?
Half elves.
probably can be up to...
Half elves are typically about the average size of a human. So half elves tend to favor like 5.5 to like 6.5 usually.
And if you're like 6 feet, then that makes you a solid 8 inches taller than me.
I mean,
I'm
that's
5'4".
fine.
So
I'm your little big brother.
little
Or your
big.
big little brother, or I don't know.
I'm 16. You're older than me.
But yeah,
Yeah, so
it did say you could be a foot shorter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, assuming that Cad was a little over 7 foot because he's not necessarily small or large for a Loxodon, you would be just over 6 feet tall, going a little bit shorter. So you would be a little bit tall for the average half elf, but it's doable.
Yeah, you're just a very muscular half elf.
No, he can look thinner too.
Mm-hmm. I want to basically
Okay.
look like I belong in the same family as a.
all right.
Alrighty.
All
then.
right.
And
That's
I
gonna be
wink
weird as hell.
Very cheesy when I'm like smashing him on the shoulder and morning brother and all that.
Oh, wink, wink.
All right. So like, am I at a table or something?
Yeah, you're probably getting breakfast in the common room.
All right. So that happens, and Locke just like face plants into the table because one, I have a strength of let's see here. I have a strength of 6, so no way I'm going to withstand a slap from a barbarian Loxodon and stay upright. So you like clap me on the shoulder and just ow. Then I look back over my shoulder. I was like, the fuck? Do I see through the fact that it's a disguise right away?
Roll for
Or
me.
would that be a perception check?
That would actually be investigation to sort of discern that it's a disguise.
12.
Let me.
Do I notice that he's eyeing me curiously?
More like with
I-
abject confusion and skepticism.
I am not really your brother, but I am totally your brother. Wink, wink.
What's what's your what's Cad's wisdom? Not wisdom, charisma.
16.
What's your modifier then?
Oh, plus 3.
It'd be a +3. So,
So So doing the passive thing, that would make that a 13, which means I would not have passed that because I got a 12.
Well, it's he's not proficient in spells use, so his spell DC would not have his proficiency modifiers.
I was just figuring just a standard, just 10 plus ability modifier check, kind of like passive stealth or passive perception. Because all of your skills have a passive. Because all your skills have a passive mode. Just perception is the only one that really gets used.
Right. Either way.
Well, if I notice him eyeing me and not putting two together, that's why I would lean forward and, make it more obvious.
You also hear the voice that is very clearly Cad's.
I'll sort of reach up and feel for the ears.
Yep.
Just don't do that.
Sorry.
Tickly.
Sorry. So the hat works then.
Had you fooled? I guess so.
Which, by the way, when you were grabbing at the hat, by appearances, you were grabbing at air next to his head, obviously.
I was grabbing at his ear, not the hat. So a little lower down.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, definitely had me fooled there for a little bit until you announced it. Nice.
So I am now Gradiriel, brother of Locke.
No. It's a nice sentiment, but not one I'm personally comfortable with.
Oh, do you have boundaries?
I do, yes. I don't have any brothers. Or sisters. Just a mom and a dad who still has like 100-something days before he's out of a cell. My family's the touchy subject is what it amounts to. I'd rather it not be messed with.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. You didn't quite know.
Should I look like Silver?
Well, we already have a Silver.
You should probably appear to look like someone that you think would fit in with the group, but not necessarily stick out or obviously be a lookalike. Says Oak as he comes up to the table.
Which, given the fantastic spread of people we have, you can be just about anything, really. You can make yourself a Goliath. We've seen a few of those around. They blend in. Warforged could be a Warforged.
I don't know. What if someone asked me to speak? It might be obvious.
Well,
Warforged speak, but do they sound like me?
I mean, we could always help you to try to.
I could talk like this. I don't know.
I mean, they don't talk like automatic robots or anything like that. If such things exist in this world, I don't know. Are gnomes capable of creating that? Out of character, saying that now?
I don't know either.
Yes.
Okay, so we do
the
have
whole
robots in this setting.
The whole point of Warforged to begin with is it's automatons. They are automatons that were created by various different races, mostly gnomes, that achieved sentience. So yes, automatons are things.
Automatons.
Yes, automatons. Blah, blah, blah.
You had a few too many automatons in there.
Yes.
Well, can you change your voice?
I don't know.
I don't think disguise self can change your voice.
Is this thing on?
I don't mean like in terms of the spell. Just like, can you try to make yourself talk differently?
I don't know.
Can you try? Okay, can you try lowering the pitch of your voice? Maybe add a little growl, put some mucus in there. Make it sound growly. Okay, no, see, that sounds hilarious, but could you try using words?
What me say?
That's a bit much. Okay, so I think that's out.
I don't think. Okay. Oak sort of speaks up and is like, okay, for one, yes, Loxodons do have a sort of distinct sound to their voice, but it's not unreasonable for someone to have that same tone to their voice. If you shapeshifted into, he sort of gestures to himself, say a furbolg. Furbolgs can have nasally voices. We have big noses. Not as big as a Loxodon trunk, but we have big noses.
Valid point. And alternatively, we could just fabricate some excuse that, like, you spent a lot of time around, like, a colony of Loxodons when you were younger, and their talking style just sort of stuck with you.
That would imply that he's from Caverton, considering most Loxodons are in Caverton. But
I would assume that Loxodons hail from another land, and because like the world's a lot bigger than just the one kingdom we're currently in. I would imagine.
sure, there would most definitely be other Loxodon clans.
Yeah, so it didn't seem too unreasonable, but
Either way, I think we've established that the Hat of Disguise is a very, very useful thing, and it would get us in town. At least not having an elephant to stick out.
yep, no elephant on the road means a gateway open for us, unless of course we're all like very recognizable, which we might be.
Well, in theory, we could do some disguise work. Maybe not necessarily with magic, but we could do some disguise work ourselves.
I sort of snap my fingers and cast invisibility and just poof invisible for a minute, and I
Or
can do
that.
this.
Or that.
I can only do it twice in a day before twice before I have to sit down and catch my breath for an hour, but
Yeah.
I'll turn back to normal. And I need to sit still for about an hour to get that back.
In theory,
I have an idea.
Mhm.
Could we buy a cloak, and I could appear to be like some sort of slender roguish type, and the silent and follow people, and I could let y'all do the talking.
What about the Great Hammer?
You're not here, I'm pretty sure.
I'm not.
granted, the thing
Silver's
about
voice appears out of nowhere.
the disguise self can change your gear and your apparel, so you could give yourself a cloak.
Gotcha. So, how observed are we wherever it is that we are?
You could say this.
At the current moment where you are not being super heavily watched, but you are among a crowd of people that are. Some are starting to leave the tavern. Others are starting to sort of get their morning drinks and various things.
There's a big crowd of people here.
No one is observing you directly, though, as far as you can tell.
It might be wise if we took this to one of our rooms just so that we have a measure of privacy. I mean, no one's openly watching, but that doesn't necessarily mean the sight of someone changing shape sporadically isn't going to draw a lot of attention.
True. So,
And at this point, I'm assuming Silver would be close to making it back into the inn.
Well,
Unless
what time
she's-
of day is it?
It's like morning.
It's
How?
a little late in the morning at this point, probably, because Locke usually wakes up a little bit later.
Yeah, he's a heavy sleeper.
Just
So
time.
probably like 9:30,
number.
10 o'clock, something like that.
She would be making her way back at 10.
Okay. So, give her a bit and she will get there probably.
Hi,
Young will stick to making sure that Silver makes her way back, and Oak and Cad and Locke go to one of
Wait,
the other.
did Young come back?
Young
Yes.
is back.
She came back to what
She-
you.
She is
no,
back.
I mean, came back to.
No, she didn't
Because
come
you
to.
said.
She didn't come to you. She's waiting in the entranceway like she did when you guys came from the jewelry shop.
Oh, so she's just waiting there for Silver to come back.
Yep.
Yes.
She's waiting
Okay.
at the tavern for Silver to come back.
For some reason, to me, it sounded like you're saying that she went back and is walking
No.
back with Silver.
No. So she waits for you there, and the others go to the rooms, and probably the room that Cad stayed in or the one that Oak stayed in, and you guys have a bit of privacy to
Nail down a specific disguise.
Yeah, and resituate your potential disguise.
Okay, so start from the top. I can go blip and turn invisible. You can look like, within limitations, just about anything you want. So we need something that won't immediately draw attention when it comes to your voice thing. The silent thing, that actually sounds like it could work. Can you shift to that right now? The tall, shadowy person idea that you had.
So I'm imagining someone who looks sort of live, like maybe just a straight elf or something like that, with a long cloak that sort of wraps around the front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Something of that persuasion.
Battle
Yep.
scars on the face.
So like Batman.
Barely visible with the hood up.
All right. Fair enough.
How do I look?
Absolutely tall and terrifying.
Excellent.
Please don't talk.
Not
Please do
bad.
not talk like this.
Not bad. Interesting.
I mean, if you need to scare the shit out of someone, then by all means. But does it have to be me?
You'll be all right, Locke. All right. So that actually works. I like it. And
What's
being the
my
strong
name?
Your name.
Bob.
being a strong
You're not
silent
here.
being a strong silent type, I don't think you necessarily would need a name to come to speak about outright.
We could have a nickname for you, like a title we as a group have assigned you out of respect. Shadowgrasp, maybe? Since you have the sort of shadowy look about you.
Shadowgrass.
Shadowgrasp. P at the end.
Oh. That's decidedly less floral.
Yeah, Shadowgrass just kind of sounds weird because it sounds like a really weird and obscure drow like narcotic. Like, hey, you want to go shoot up some Shadowgrass? Fuck yeah, I do. I don't know. I don't live around the drow. I was born and raised by the polar opposites. Well, in terms of societal structure and skin color, but in terms of pompous assholishness, pretty much the same thing.
Oh,
I like
maybe I can
Shadowgrasp.
maybe I can stomp about slowly and menacingly as I but look like I gracefully drift along as if I'm trying to intimidate people.
If we need you to intimidate people, that would probably work well. Otherwise, it would probably just be a good idea to just do the gliding and cut out the thumping, because thumping makes noise and noise draws attention, and attention is something we do not necessarily want in spades.
Yes.
All right. Having accomplished that, as the group is inside the rooms doing that, we cut back to Silver as she makes her way back into the tavern, and she sees Young waiting for her.
Good morning.
Morning. How did things go with you?
Good. Oh, did Silver ever find the location of the one mine that I actually produced the gems?
Yes. She would have found the location and the mine's name. Name of the mountainside that is actually the mountainside. So,
But you said there's like multiple mines, but there's only
There's-
one mine that had.
there's multiple mines, multiple individual caves, but it's more like, it's less of individual mines and more like a cluster of mines that have separate entryways and pathways and crossways.
Okay.
One big mine network, but several entrances
Yes.
and exits.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Oh. But
Armor
Armor
Guile.
That's a cool
It
name.
does kind of roll off. It kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Armwheel Guile.
Armor Guile.
Armwheel Guile. Armwheel Guile. Armwheel Guile.
It's one of those weird things that doesn't look like anything about it.
And then you pronounce it, and it's like, the prophecy is true.
Actually, yeah, I kind of like that. I don't want it to be named after the mountain itself, so I'm going to take that. Anyway.
Okay, Armwheel Guile.
Armor Guile.
Armwheel Guile. Armwheel
like-
Guile.
Well done, Kenneth. I like
So
that.
There's a
See-
really special
see,
mine owner that likes the weird names.
Yeah. So like when you say something when you say a word so many times that it starts to lose all meaning. This is like that, but in reverse. The more times you say it, the more meaning it gains.
Something like that, yes.
I'm vaguely
All right.
familiar with that. I'm more familiar with the idea of someone like sending me a bunch of names and then I just slowly break them down and rearrange the letters and add new ones and take them away until I have a name for a place.
Yep.
Yes.
It's like sometime when you're bored, just sit down and say the word scoop like 35 times in a row.
Scoo.
Doo-doo.
Anyway, all right.
Skooma.
Don't do that. Anyway,
Fuck
Armorgyle-
you, I'm gonna do skooma. Have you
Ar-
seen the agility buff it gives you? Holy shit.
Armorgyle Mines. She did give you the location to find the primary mine shaft that usually housed the gemstones and such.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So I found out the bag of gems, some were fake. So
Oh.
there is that kind of shady business going on.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I know where the location of the mine is. I kind of know who Vanessa is.
Who's Vanessa again?
She
Significance-
has ties
significance
to
of
this
name.
half-orc.
And-
It's a name that the gnome, the shady gnome, gave me when he thought I was working under her or something. So I think she's like a mastermind or some sort of this shady dealing going on.
Oh, interesting.
At least tries to be. But Unrain knew of her slightly. But anyway, yeah. Where's everyone else?
I think
It's
they.
like almost midday.
Yeah, I think they're in the back room, in one of the bedrooms, trying to figure out precisely what they're going to do about Cad's disguise.
Okay.
He came. She sort of chuckles. He came out here looking like a very large half orc or a half elf that vaguely resembled Locke. It was funny.
I mean, that would have worked.
I mean, in theory, it would have.
Yeah.
I don't think Locke liked it very much though. Either way, and
Well, should we gather them up so we can decide on what to do?
Yep.
'Cause I know
They're
itching
making-
probably to get out of this place.
there you two sort of make your way to the bedroom as the others have finished up with what they're doing, and coming out of the bedrooms, Silver sees a very cloaked, shadowy figure, Locke and Oak.
Hello.
Hey.
Mm.
I gesture up at the shadow figure. Meet Shadow Grasp.
Where's Cat?
I gesture. Meet Shadow Grasp.
So I would like to whoosh over beside of Silver and just sort of whisper something to her, if I can, effectively.
Sure.
Does he bump me out of the way?
I hope not.
Okay.
If you ever get the ability to change form, do not become a member of the family. No.
Aw.
Okay, I will keep that in mind.
Do I hear this?
Roll perception.
Okay.
It's intended to be just to her.
I know.
Natural 20. Okay. I will awaken mind to Cad and just say, thanks for that, and leave it at that.
And Silver just like kind of like be like nods and be like, I will keep that in mind. But generally, it's like it's obvious, clear. She's just kind of brushing it off.
And just as attempted mysteriously as I whooshed up to whisper that to her, I whoosh away and I sort of take a little quiet bow.
This is rather fun. I like this.
Yeah.
This is
I'm
going to
not
be
used to
this
games.
is this is going to be very interesting whenever a combat happens because all of a sudden he's going to go from being that to being what he normally is.
Right. So anyway, so what are we gonna do? I got some information about the shady dealings going on here, but we have the hat now. Now what?
Well, that is kind of up to you, isn't it? We're on your time. This was your mission you wanted to go on.
Well, this as far as
But this affects all of us. So
I mean, we could in theory go and deal with things in Caverton. I believe they are a little bit more
Pressing.
pressing perhaps.
Considering we had someone try to nick Cad's giant ass hammer. I'd
Yeah.
say pressing would be the right word, yes.
all right, and
and-
they would probably be alerted since that one guy never sent word back or whatever. It has been a couple of days.
Hence the hat.
Yep.
And I mean, I suppose if there are really shady dealings going on here, we could inform some of the guardsmen here that to look into something if you want to do that. But
I'm not sure that would be the best of ideas. I mean, look around
Yeah,
at this
we
place.
don't
It's
know any trustworthy guards here yet.
yeah,
Fair point.
that and I mean if you just look around this place, it's a place of excess, and places of excess, I mean, I can't really speak from experience, not firsthand, but I've read a few books, and near as I can tell, places like this tend to be where the local authorities tend to be in the pocket of those who would otherwise be opposed to them. So
Kind of Silver kinds and nods like, yeah.
that's
yeah,
a fair
so
point. So I guess we
so we
make
could
our way.
probably yeah, I vote we deal with Caberton first, and then we can come back and address this later if we still have time
Yeah,
and
this is just
resources.
like a small thing compared to everything else. So.
Caberton is
Or-
like the objective, so this
Right,
is
to
like
deal
this
with
is a
your
side quest. So
yes.
Were all of the gems fake?
No, just a
No,
couple.
just 3 of the gems.
Oh, okay.
It was 3 of the 10 gems that were in the bag were fake.
Right.
and besides, as things stand, we did kind of piss off, a local individual. We technically stole from them, so it might be a wise idea for us all to just book it out of here before that can turn around and chomp us in the posteriors. So
Yeah.
if we go to Caberton now, then when we come back, things will have cooled off a bit, and we'll be able to act with a bit less scrutiny. So
Right.
So
So-
Caberton's probably the best bet overall.
Okay.
All right.
Everyone in agreement on that then?
Sounds like a plan to me.
All
Caberton.
right.
Young
Yeah, I
sort
said something in the group liked it.
Young sort of speaks up.
Oh.
Hmm?
Did you need some? Oh, Silver's gonna be like, oh yeah, didn't you need us to do something? Or is your business here taken care of?
My business here is more or less taken care of. However, I would like to check in, say goodbye, let her know what I'm doing, and this time I'm not going to wander off because that's not a good idea. So
It's a dumbass move, yes. And you've made enough of
Well,
those.
you did just now tell us what you're going to do, so we can do that.
Meet us by the south gate, I guess? Or past it, outside it, maybe a little ways?
all right, sure.
Well, we,
All right.
can we do-
And then you
Yes,
guys make
let's.
Then you guys make your way out of the Sparkling Wishes, and as you're leaving, you sort of make your way down towards the south gate to head out, and Young sort of ventures off and goes in a different direction towards some of the other business districts.
Yeah, and I'm keeping an eye out for anyone who might be watching us or following us or anything like that.
Same.
Perception checks, people.
Da, 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 da.
3.
Good job.
was better than a 4
7.
because we suck.
Oh,
come
our
on.
savior.
Oak, mighty oak, you rock so much.
Well done. I thought Oak was becoming the bard. Anyway, so, taking a look
I
around.
can't sing worth a damn.
I know, but I was
Either
making a
way.
joke. I was making a joke. Anyway,
Okay.
taking a look around, it's pretty apparent that there's no one sort of wandering around. You guys don't really get anything on from your own looking around, but after everybody started to make their way out, Oak speaks up and, yeah, we're pretty well safe. I don't see anyone sort of following either
Good.
us or Young, so I think we will be all right.
All right. So, how far do we want to go to before we hunker down and wait for her to catch up?
Well, just enough that we can keep the eye on the gate just to...
Yeah, we said we would meet her
Watch.
at the south gate, so let's make our way down there, and then she'll meet back up with us.
All right.
And so you head back down, and after a moment, Young comes back, and she sort of sighs and, all right, thank you, and I will voice where I'm going in the future.
Damn straight. All right.
Unless it's sneaky business.
Sorry, it's
Like, stabby stabby.
well, yeah, but I'm not going to keep any secrets from any shady dealings that I may be doing. I'm going to let you guys know.
Okay.
I suppose it's sort of hard for me not to force a habit being a rogue and all, but that said, even though we got the disguise for Cad, a lot of people know who you are. You two are. She points to Silver and Oak, or Silver and Locke. Are we going to go the invisible route, and the only ones that the guards are going to see go into Caberton are going to be a shadowy figure, me and Oak, or
That would probably help
I
us
can
get past. That would help us get
do-
past the. I can cast it on you. Casting it on both me and you would only give us a short time, and it would expend both of my spells, both of my casts for the hour, until we'd stop and catch our breath.
Yes, but what if there's actually people looking out for people who are invisible?
I mean, I
a
hadn't
good
thought
point.
of that. That would be more likely if you were getting closer to the big academy or the castle, though. At the gates,
That's the
I'm not
thing. The warden is near the castle.
right. But I'm just talking about just getting into the city. Once we're in the city, we will probably want a more effective means of disguising the two of us. I forget. Are there any settlements on the way between here and Caberton? Like small villages, maybe?
relatively small villages.
Can we just go to the big map since we're traveling?
Yeah. There are actually a
Because of-
couple smaller villages between here and Caberton. If you was to take a path along the road out that way a little bit.
Yeah, it might be prudent for us to stop by one of those little communities that are on the way. And once we stop in, perhaps we can purchase something to help us disguise ourselves. Disguise kits, new clothes, maybe wigs. I mean, I look down at my current clothes, which I've been wearing over when I was like, let's be brutally honest. I look like a rat's nest hugging a human body.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's gonna be pretty easy to look out for. So some new clothes for me probably wouldn't be a bad thing. I sniff at a pit and go, "Ugh! In the bath, but that can wait."
You could have used You could have taken a bath at the inn.
I was more worried about the potential of someone sneaking into my room to shank me in the middle of the night.
So I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Is that in character?
How far away? No, I don't guess so. How far away was the woods that had Yawn and Oaks folks in it?
It's right over here. It's like a day or two travel to get there. Day and a half. A little
Um,
longer because we'd be going off road for part of it.
Even though that's out of the way, well, first off, when we were there, would they have had anything in the general by way of like outfits or stuff of that nature?
Don't think so.
Not really. She,
That's
the Christine didn't really deal with fabrics very much.
Okay. All right, and that makes all the in character moot and void. So there.
All right.
Okay.
So, which of the settlements should we hit? Which one would put less of a dent in our travel time?
Neither. They're pretty much will have the same effect.
So we go to this one. So if all things go bad, we can jump in the water and just sort of travel.
And
Technically, you could do
Why?
that at both places.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess you could. The way I have it zoomed.
in what?
Boat?
Yeah, you also don't have a boat. You'd have to get a boat.
Yeah,
Just-
and that costs money.
Hitchhike. Steal it. I don't know. We already stole a fucking hat.
I didn't have a choice, okay?
I know. The fact remains you stole a fucking hat.
Well, it's his fault for actually revealing it.
That's a
He's
fair
a
point.
dumbass, yes. Hmm.
Like, I can be kind of make it so people can't really truly see my face, but
Having an extra layer of actual physical altered appearances would probably go a long ways in helping regardless. So, what's the name of
into that other form.
You mean the one that looks like a demon that would get her skewered? I don't
it's
think
not,
that'd be
I'm not a demon.
I know you're not, but it makes you look kind of like one. When you do the wings and the tear-eye eyes and the freaking banshee scream. No offense or anything, but that shit's terrifying. I ran away from that. Of course, I ran away from everything. Yong ran away from that. That's a better example.
I ran
Sorry,
away from it. I ran away from it because magic. I actually thought it was pretty cool. But
I made
anyway,
chance smack
Look,
Yong in the
I
back of the head.
No control over that. Okay?
Yeah, so see,
I
that's
did
definitely
a
not an option.
stupid mistake and I ended up like that, okay?
Okay, so yeah, see
From what
that's
I've read, normally my kind don't look like that.
So yeah, that's not quite an option. I just say we stop by Damapur because that's the one that happens to have its name listed on the map. The other one's a wild card. We stop by there, buy a couple things to help us change our appearances, some new clothes, maybe a makeup kit. I don't know, and keep going after that. Be a little detour, but we won't be in a town where we've pissed off loads of people. And truth be told, be in a town where pretty much none of us has a reputation. So connect with more or less no scrutiny whatsoever there.
Yeah,
that's a
I
good point.
guess.
I mean, it's only a couple day detour, and yeah, okay.
Thing is, do we really have the time to spare for that couple day detour?
I mean, are we in any specific rush? I mean,
The
yes, I
sooner
get it.
we-
We want to, fix the situation in Caberton, yes, but that's a situation that isn't necessarily going to significantly worsen with a couple extra days.
Can you? This is Young speaking up. Can you do your looking at Locke? Can you do your talk to whoever that is and see if there's anything going on in Caverton concerning us?
You mean Vindsvept, my patron? I can try tonight. He mostly talks to me in my dreams. I can try, but I can't make any guarantees that it'll actually work. He's kind of finicky, and it's really unpredictable when calling on him will actually work. sometimes it works, sometimes he calls me out of the blue, other times rotten silence. I can try tonight when we're on our way, though. We'll be roughly at the crossroads by the time night falls, I would imagine. If I'm remembering my distances right. Yeah, we'll be a little
No.
before that. We'll be a little before that crossroads, so yeah, I can ask him tonight before we even have to decide what 100% if we're turning or not, and he can give us an update on the situation in Caberton. Sound good? Is that a good compromise?
Works for me.
Yes.
All right. Now, of course, that's assuming he answers. If not, then I personally vote we err on the side of caution and just get something to make us harder to look at anyway. But anyway,
And
But do we have anyone that's good with this guy? Good.
You
Like
cut out
actually
for
good
bit.
at. Is there anyone that's good at using these kits?
I look over at Young and Oak. I'm not. What about you two?
mm, I mean, I haven't used. I technically have one. I just don't necessarily have supplies for it because I kind of ran out and then don't use it very much. So,
But do you know how to use it well? Is the question.
No.
I
Not out of
mean,
character, no.
I mean, I can use it. It's not the greatest, but yeah, I can use it.
Maybe we
What the out of character context for this is Young has proficiency in using it, but it uses
No shit.
intelligence. Yes, she does. It uses intelligence, and intelligence is one of her lowest stats.
No,
Hmm,
you just have proficiency in thieves' tools.
that's
She got
okay.
Because
a-
she took rogue as first level, right?
Hmm?
Yeah, the rogues are only proficient in thieves' tools.
Backstories can
Um,
grant you other tool proficiencies.
She also has
point.
she also has a technically a hermit background.
Yeah, so that would. Give
But
that-
anyway,
okay.
so I mean, I have one. I just don't use it very much, and I'm not the greatest at it. But I do know how to use one.
Well, one of us might be able to help you, but for now, we should probably hit the road.
And it's also worth noting that if we find out something from your patron, or if not, and we wish to move a little faster, I do have a means to potentially get us into Caverton that doesn't include the gate.
That's what I was asking about earlier.
Good to know.
I do have that, so that is a potential option should we choose to take it.
Well,
All right, let's go.
let's see what
Alright.
Time is
Alvin's
wasting.
says.
There's one last thing that we need, not just disguises and things. I have a standard issue guard weapon. I don't really want to get rid of it, but I probably should not walk in there with one of their guards' weapons.
Is there
Can't
any
you
way
make
to, wait?
When you are
Is
in
there
this,
anything distinct on it?
it is a like I'm assuming in that question that Cad would probably pull out his actual hammer.
Sure.
Because you're doing this as you're starting to make your way down south, so there's no
Yeah.
He
I could have sworn at the very beginning when you said that I would the hammer. I thought you said something like it had an emblem or something
It
on it
does,
that was like
yeah.
their standard.
It is a distinctly Loxodon Caverton guard hammer. So yeah, there is something very
Okay.
distinct about it.
So maybe I could temporarily switch to using a maul or something.
Perhaps. Although I was under the impression he could make it disappear when he did his disguise self thing with the hat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But if something happened and there was combat,
it would be good to have
Even
another.
if there wasn't combat, your cover would still be blown.
Yeah.
So honestly, I don't think you really need to change the weapon.
Just make sure you keep your disguise up at all times unless we wind up getting caught, in which case go nuts and get out.
Yeah.
To be fair, it is also worth noting that you do make use through the use of the hat, you as Cad activate Disguise Self, which is a spell, which would mean that when Cad rages,
It would end
it would end.
because I can't concentrate on it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and even if rage would let you do a spell that you were already concentrating on, due to the nature of Cad's rage, I would probably say it would be a little bit hard for him to concentrate on it still. But anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
So you are
That's
making
reasonable,
your
really.
you're starting to make your way down south then.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Traveling down south during the day is not. There's nothing any really crazy going on. And then it gets to the point of setting down for watches.
All right.
And
Silver has the last watch.
upon you saying that, Oak sort of like, would you mind if I buddied up with you for the watch?
I don't
Terribly
mind.
Silver? Okay.
I'll take first. That way I'll have a bit more of a open, undisturbed window to communicate with Vindsvept if he deigns to speak with me.
That's a fair point.
Very good.
And then Young's like, what do you want, Cad, second or third?
Second is okay.
So it'll be Locke, Locke, Cad, Young, and then Oak and Silver.
Okay.
All right. I'll make my roll.
2-hour
Indeed.
watches.
15.
15. Yeah. 15 is decent enough.
Uh-oh.
So you
We see a harpy. Anyway.
when you're getting ready to bed, you're listening for the watches. It's peaceful, it's calm. There's not a whole lot going on, but you do hear ever so slightly the barest hint of music coming from, I think it would be east? Yeah, east.
Where are we located on the path?
You guys are about here, roughly,
Okay.
Okay.
and it is heading from the forest to the east over here.
Do not go into the forest.
I
Whatever you
ain't
do, do not go into.
I am not touching that with a 1,000-yard pole.
I am just going to ignore it. I'll keep listening to it to make sure it's not a threat, but if it doesn't come and bother us, I'm going to not pursue it.
It's doesn't necessarily for your watch. It seems like the music is just starting to sort of pick up. It's soft because of distance, and then if you keep an ear towards it, it starts to sound like carnival music.
Nope.
I am definitely not touching that with a 1,000-mile pole because I've played Carnival. I know how this shit works.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Can't
So
do that.
once I'll wake Cat up when it's time for his watch,
All right.
and then once he's up, I'll go and spend. I'll say about 10 or 20 minutes, maybe half an hour or so, just fiddling with the Eldritch Blast energy. The usual ritual before to try and get Vindsvept's attention. Before I actually get under my blankets to fall asleep, just have that energy swirling around. So for half an hour, Cat can just see Locke just sitting cross-legged with his hands out and inky black energy swirling around both of them.
Yeah.
So up to him if he wants to inquire about that.
So.
Okay, all right. 9.
Eh.
So we'll get to Vindsvept in just a moment. Cad, you can go ahead and roll your perception.
Okay.
And you can use, of course, smell if you want.
Sure.
You smell carnival food.
Yay, churros.
I mean,
Elevators.
Elephant ears. Yes, thank you. Smells food.
I mean, as if it wasn't apparent from what you guys said, yeah. Cad doesn't necessarily know the smell right off because he's not really experienced it. But seekingly sweet, cheap food.
Does it seem very close or way in the middle of the forest somewhere? Or?
It seems based on it's a little hard for you to tell just by sense of smell, but based on the fact of how much stronger the smell is from this distance, it's either on the edges of the forest or it is just so strong that the winds carried it through the forest to you.
Okay. But it doesn't really cause any need for threat or concern. I mean, people
No, not
do
really.
what they're going to do, and
Nope.
that's most likely of no consequence to us. So I think if that's the most outstanding point that I notice on my watch, I basically sit there on my watch and turn into someone, and then like with one hand pull the hat up so I poof back into Cad, and then put it back on my head and I'm someone else, and pull it off and poof into someone else.
Just entertaining yourself.
I mean, it's very entertaining. I can become like the chief of the guards and the people from the courthouse, and I can become random people and then take it off. And...
You can become a very, very fat version of the warden.
So for a few
my
times,
own safety, I'd probably not want.
For what it's worth, if you turn into like the captain of the guard, you turn into a different Loxodon.
Mm-hmm.
And
it would be a very realistic thing compared to
mm-hmm.
I would take up approximately the same amount of space.
All right. So from there we
My
go
ears
to.
would be shorter though.
Yes, your ears would be shorter. So, Young does her watch afterwards. I'm assuming you go to wake her up. Are you in any particular guise when you go to wake her up, or are you yourself?
Probably probably whatever random appearance I want. All right, Young's turn. So yeah, probably whatever random appearance I'd still be in something random.
You're having a lot of fun with that, aren't you?
I make a very serious face and I pull the hat straight up. Sorry.
No, it's great. I'm glad you've gotten into it. It's kind of cool. I wish disguises.
Be right back. Food just got made, and I gotta go get it.
Yep. I kind of wish disguises were that easy for me, but you need the hat more right now. So. Alrighty. And she goes to sit down for her watch. Cad gets some sleep. She sees nothing. Sees and hears nothing with an 8.
So if I wear the hat while dreaming...
Huh.
I guess that wouldn't do anything because it would require
Yes, it requires concentration to maintain disguise self. So, yeah. All right.
It'd be funny if I was trying to get random characters from a dream. Anyway, go ahead.
It would be fun.
All right. So, we then have Oak and Silver's watch at the very end because Young doesn't see anything, and she wakes up Oak first, and then Oak wakes up Silver. I was actually going to have you potentially opt to use the whole helping a friend look, and you have a person with a better sense of perception. Or you could still do it separate.
Just do it separate.
Okay, fair enough.
Then he rolls at advantage because he's helping himself look.
No,
Nope.
it doesn't work that way.
Nope.
Rolling a 6 and getting an 18. Okay.
Thank you, plus 12.
Yeah,
It doesn't work that way. Boom.
it's gonna get worse. It's more levels.
All right. So he's Silver doesn't really see or hear anything, and then Oak sort of looks up, sort of looks around, and looks off to the forest to the east. There's a carnival going on to the east, or at least it sounds like one.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, Trouble told me about that there
Wait.
was.
Still going? Like, what time is it?
It's getting late. I think it's winding down now. Anyway.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Well, it might be a nighttime long-winded carnival.
Oh, I know. Anyway,
Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Trouble did tell me that there was a traveling carnival that would set up along the road at different times, but there's nothing really super shady about it other than supposedly the ringleader for the carnival was a one of the. I don't know if you've seen very many of them. You might have wandering around bigger towns. You know, did you notice how the girl in Yukiegi's tavern had gills on her neck by chance?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. There's people like that all over the place. I mean, there's all
I've
sorts
seen
of.
them in Caperton.
Yeah. Apparently, according to Trouble, they're the ringleader for that this particular carnival, if it's the same one, is a half orc with like manta ray features. He seems cool, but anyway.
Hmm.
Um,
That's interesting. Plate sounds.
Yeah, someone's got food. That being Brian.
Mhm.
That is very.
Don't forget to deduct 1 rations in your sleep.
You know what, Gradiriel?
Yes.
Anyway, so
Here, you little shit.
the reason I wanted to do this, the watch with you, was because that Young told me about your transformation thing that scared her, but she thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you said it wasn't something that your race normally does, but what do you know about that form? If you don't mind me asking, you can totally just.
Well, it's kind of hard because there's not really much out there. Arcane is kind of rare, especially with my background and stuff. Like, you don't get someone who has both dragon and celestial blood in them.
No? That's quite the impressive heritage, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't know much. I was an orphan, so I don't know much of my family. But normally, we don't have like skeletal wings. They're more like angel wings. But yeah. No.
Oh.
So yes, Spike. Anyway,
Great.
That's a ship that no one ever does, and with good reason.
Yep. Anyway.
so like Young told me that when it happened, you like decimated the one halfling, whoever that was. or something.
I communicated with my god, and pretty much he said what I got from him is like, yeah, the system would do their thing, but it just long, and he needs to go. So
So
to sum it up, I pretty much just purged his soul out of his body. But yes.
Forgive me if this isn't accurate, but I suppose Paladin of Vengeance?
Yes, my oath is to take back my temple. And make the one who's responsible for the way I look. Even though I guess it is my fault. But the one who dealt the cards for me to look like that. To make him pay for it.
So I guess I suppose your oath also pushes to, like, what I read up on it because for a while my father was sort of pushing for me to become a paladin, but I didn't have the strength for it.
I'm sorry to be honest. You don't seem much of paladin material.
No, I wasn't. He sort of.
Trust me, it took me like a couple of years just to convince my high commander to let me actually train to be a paladin. They were having me go more with my magical side.
Right. Well, I read up about, paladins of vengeance and even just other paladins typically being like executioners of evil or whatever.
I guess you can say that.
I mean, the way you took down that halfling just for him being psychotic and evil. I mean, yeah, he deserved it, sure, but based on how Young described it, I don't know if it was the magic talking or what, because she said it was pretty gruesome. So
I was just tasked by Helm to purge the darkness, pretty much. And I plan on purging my temple very, very well. After what they did to me.
right. All right then. I mean, you've shared a little bit about your own past, and I appreciate that. Not everyone can talk about their past so easily.
No, my path goes deeper than you think.
Alright. Okay. Well, we still got a couple hours of watch left, but I won't bother you too much more.
It's fine conversation to pass the time away.
Yeah. And then at the end of your watch, or towards the end of your watch, morning comes. Eventually, the carnival that was going close to all night long, as was said earlier, wasn't actually going that far.
Stop playing music.
It stopped about maybe 3 hours before dawn, roughly, which was about the middle of.
Well, the thing is, we were supposed to have like 8 hours of rest for a long rest.
2 hours before dawn, rather, or an hour before dawn.
That would be the. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, it was enough, close enough to the morning that you would have still picked up on it on your watch, but not in the morning where your watch ended. So,
Okay.
or not at dawn where your watch ended. Anyway, Yes. Morning comes, and Locke, unfortunately, in typical fickle Vindsvept fashion, which I don't think he's actually had a moment in story where you've tried to communicate with him and he said no or said nothing.
First time for everything, huh?
Yep.
This is a moment where that logic is actually holding true. Reasonably speaking, from the context of like a TV show, there would be other nights and other days that Locke might have tried to talk to Vindsvept to where that phrase of what he said could be true. And this is just a situation of happens in episode, so to speak, to prove that, yes, he doesn't always get anything from him.
All right. Well, and when I wake up, I'll kind of let out a disappointed huff.
Didn't hear anything, huh? Because he's
Nope.
awake.
Nope, not a thing.
Morning, sunshine.
No.
At least you're not exhausted and used all your spells.
Yeah. Yeah. Get back, stand back up. Nothing from Vindsvept, so on our own on that.
Well, I guess we just head towards the other town, I guess.
If everyone's on board with that plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Onward!
Forwards. Ahead, butts.
Less than half a day to go there, and then a little over a day to... Okay.
So it's 2 more days.
Well,
more or less, yeah.
roughly, yeah. Okay. So,
Fast travel.
you make your way traveling down, and...
You even have the Cthulhu music ready to go and everything.
Aw.
Yes, sorry.
Nasty bastard.
I thought I'd line up with what Locke was saying. Sometimes it doesn't work. You're the one that said that. You could have said that Locke. He always talked to you when you called him.
I mean, considering how long it took Vindsvept to talk to my character in the first place, considering how long it had been since I found the book before we established first contact, it just made sense that, it was a fickle thing.
He is pretty fickle. So. All right. And you make your way at that crossroads, and you see a sort of signpost that entails Damapur to the
we get
east
the other...
over here, and yes, you would get the other town's name.
Yay!
About damn time. I'm sick and tired of looking at this map with incomplete names. It pisses me off. Some fierce.
You want me to give
Pissant.
you all the names? I could totally do that.
No, what we need to do is actually go to a store and buy an actual map that does have the names on it.
I thought we did that already.
No, we only had a partial map.
I chang.
Yes.
I chang. That's a weird name. I like it, but it's weird.
Or depending on how
Ichang.
onomatopoeic it's supposed to be, I chang.
Chang.
You have to have the I in there though. I chang.
Ichang.
E-chang.
Ishang.
Dong.
Ishlong.
Oh my god.
No.
What? It's long.
Okay.
What?
Let's just
Anyway.
continue to damper.
So you make your way. You make your way down. You get the other town name, and heading out towards the east. It becomes your second bit of watches before you will make your way into town.
Let's see.
Probably same order, and Oak will
same rotation.
same rotation, and Oak will be watching with Yong this time.
All
Okay.
right.
No more story. No more questions.
You see nothing, Locke. It's perfectly fine outside.
You're sitting there just like looking at your Eldritch Blast, just like trash talking out.
No, no, I'm
Like-
scared of that guy. I ain't gonna trash talk him.
Like, I'm trying to contact you. Why aren't you talking to me?
I get
Answer
snarky.
me.
I get snarky with him in dream, but only really when I'm tunnel visioned.
Right.
All right.
But yeah, just standard watch for me, and you wake the elephant up.
Yep. Next would be Cad.
Okay.
21.
Nice.
Fucking hell, nice.
Nice. In this particular,
Which is specifically smell, since it's advantage.
technically, yeah, you would be getting some smell elements. How far away is? Decent distance away.
I smell powerful earth.
With the 21, you sort of get the sense that, I mean, it is pretty close to accurate with, like, quote unquote, powerful earth, as you said. It's very, yes.
You said it.
I did say it.
I get the sense. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
There is... It's not necessarily like a wildfire, because it's not near as far away, but...
Yuki-yaki?
Because Yuki-yaki's way up to the north. But you do get the scent of... smell, the smell of like sulfur and fire, as if it's almost like a forge is down towards the south. Down here.
Like coming more from the mountains than from the town?
Yep.
Ooh, a forge in the mountains. Volcano.
Interesting. That's interesting. I don't think that's necessarily worth a lack of sleep and angry party. So hat goes on, hat goes off. Hat goes on, hat goes off. Who's next?
It would be Oak
Young
and
Oak, I believe.
Young.
So what races were Oak and Yon again? They were different, right?
Oak is
Dwarf
a
and-
furbolg and Young is a dwarf.
So Furbolg, you said were relatively large. I'm going to attempt my best to turn exactly into them as I wake them up.
So
A very tall dwarf.
So a furbolg and a very big yong. Gotcha.
Yeah, specifically a Furbolg. I don't think I can turn into two people.
Not at the same time, no, but all right.
So yes, I will wake them up looking as the Furbolg of the party, and a big old cheesy grin on my face.
Okay.
This is a brilliant
Um,
idea, after all.
So
It
you
occurs
wake
to me that Cadriel has the perfect voice for villager news.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
so you wake up you wake up Oak, and what do you say? Do you just like gesture to wake him up, or do you say anything?
I guess I would sort of nudge him. I can't think of anything clever.
Okay. So Oak sort of rouses. Dad, whoa. Okay.
This means it's your turn.
Yes, it is. Do you look like Oak, or do you look like... I mean, you haven't really seen other furbolgs.
Oak is the Furbolg. I want to look as like not like brother or kin. I mean, like I want to look
Like a twin.
as much as I can.
Like a twin?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure because your thing kept cutting out just a bit when you did that again.
My goal is to look as convincingly just like him.
All right.
That's cool and all, but don't do that.
No trouble.
Oh.
A big ass troublemaker, aren't you?
I know. Okay.
Hey, both of us should wake her up.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. As
Do
we
it.
speak from the sleep. Do it. Do it.
The voice of Riven from half a continent away. Do it. Do it. Make me laugh. Make me feel good for once.
All right. This is probably a very bad idea, but it'll be funny anyway. So
the funniest things usually are very bad. That's why puns exist.
Yes. Hmm.
yeah, I guess we'll wake her up at the same time, and
Mm-hmm.
you two go over. It's a pretty simple, like, soft-spoken 1, 2, 3, nyeh, and you both
Nudge, nudge.
nudge and wake her up, and she sort of stirs. Morning, Oak.
Oh.
Chad, what? Don't do that.
I am the real Oak.
That just confirmed it. No.
One that confirmed it that you're not, and two, no, don't do that.
I reach up and pull the hat off my head because I don't know why, but I like the idea of the imagery, plucking it off of my head to end it instead of just at will ending it, though I know that works too. So I just reach up and I'm like, oh.
It's a cuter image, that's for sure.
So now that they're both up, I guess I'll make my way over, go to sleep.
Yep. And Young will do the watch of giving Oak advantage because holy crap, her perception is garbage, especially compared to Oak.
But his is
I
fantastic.
want to see a 32.
A 32.
21.
It's like 11 shy of what you wanted, but it's still good.
Yeah.
Oak sort of looks.
I wanted a nat 20.
Oak sort of looks up. Oh look, there's more harpies flying up there.
Oh, great.
Oh, shit. What do they want?
This is why we don't mess with those. Didn't you say, this is Young speaking, didn't you say before that harpies were with the goblins that Riven was dealing with before? Yeah. I don't know if these are the same harpies, but yeah.
They're messengers.
Anyway, yeah.
That a gaming pigeon.
Other than that, nothing really is going on. And then we lead into finishing their watch, and Silver is woken up for hers. 4.
Nope.
So 6, 21, 21, 4.
Yep, I had to use all my 20s. The beginning. Cheers of the caw.
Okay. So yeah, Silver. It's peaceful morning. Nothing really crazy going on. Yeah. And the others come to. The others wake up, finishing up their watch, and you guys make your way into town, unless there's any sort of conversations that want to be had as you make your way there.
Yeah. Questions, stories, jokes.
I'm just munching on other rations.
Yeah, I'm good for now.
And Cat is probably messing with the hat still because fun.
Yep.
That's more of a me time thing.
Okay.
I in traveling with them, I would want to keep up appearances. So I'm still in the random elf.
Alrighty. Okay. So you make your way to town. I was not necessarily anticipating you going to this town,
Yeah.
and so I do not have a map for this town.
One
So it's
can
going
be
to look
made
a lot
later.
like Yuki Eggy.
Unless I was to borrow a map from one of the previous towns and just say it was this town, which I don't want to do.
But yeah, because that's fucking lazy.
Just-
So
Make one later. Just
yeah, I'll give the specifics of what is in this town more properly to my local cartographer and have him make a map for me.
That's me.
That was way too good at doing a goofy voice. Don't do that.
That's me. I
Anyway.
was actually quoting Pro CD when I said that.
So, how long are you guys going to stay in this town? Are you specifically coming for supplies and then you're heading out? Are you going
Pretty
to
much,
stay?
yeah.
yeah, in and out.
In and
Alright.
out.
So I don't really worry about a map then. General store, tavern, various things are relatively easy to find in this town. This town is similar to Yukiegi, or not Yukiegi, not Yukiegi. Similar to, there was a town you went in that was close to the same sort of size at one point or other, I think. Actually, no.
Caracol?
Actually, no. Most of the towns you've been in have been bigger than this town. This is much smaller.
Oh.
So this is a slightly better, slightly smaller town. This is closer to these town size that the town that Locke was in for a while, Fumak. When you before you headed up to Yukiegi and all that sort of stuff, this is a little bit closer to Fumak's size. It's a much more quaint sort of small town. But it does have a shop, both in the general store variety and in it's got a general store and it even has a the general store here is bigger than what you would have seen in like Misty Village, of course. So you can easily get your supplies here. Especially if that's all that you're doing. If you go inside town, the shopkeeper here is a elf, a wood elf, not a high elf, a wood elf.
Cute.
And so yeah.
What
You can
does the
pretty
wood
mu-
elf look like?
Female, brown hair, sort of down to the like middle of her shoulder blades. Probably late 20s.
Okay.
Do you ever want to hit on the wood elf?
I'm not doing that. I'm 16.
So do it. She's like 20, 21.
Anyway, so
But yes, Silver attempts to flirt, but other than that, just buys her supplies. Very bad flirt.
yeah. Good. Sure. Silver, roll me insight.
19.
Nice.
I guess it fails. And her flirting fails.
Not it does, but not necessarily for like lack of trying because Silver is much more smooth.
Mhm.
But Silver gets the sense that uh,
Not
though
interested.
though she is not going to mean any sort of disrespect, Wood Elf's not interested.
Okay. Again, she's just like tries to flirt a little bit and then be like, "Yep, okay, just gathering my sayings and leaving now. Bye."
All right. So yeah, you have that, and what sort of disguises are you guys going to go for?
I'm just trying to get like just a general disguise kit.
Oh yeah, you can definitely get one of those.
Silver has no idea what she's doing, so
So I need to real quickly remind myself how much disguise kits cost.
Uh,
See here, a
where
disguise
did
kit
that wood elf come from?
it's 25 gold pieces.
so you're gonna buy a full-on disguise kit?
Might as well. I'll shell out 2 gold and 5 or 2 platinum or hang on a second.
Math.
2 platinum and 5 gold on that. Because that amounts to 25 gold.
There you go. All right. So you got yourself a disguise kit, complete with the supplies to do so, and
And so, how many uses does a disguise kit get?
I don't think there's necessarily a functionally specifics to that. Uh, I was just sort of playing with the idea that it would have supplies with it that would be inconsequential, but uh, Young's getting supplies for it, so Young could potentially disguise everyone who would want to be disguised.
Yeah, well, Silver's not buying a disguise kit. I guess she's just there trying. She goes and looks, sees the price, and be like, "Yep, I'm just gonna go over here in the corner and look pretty."
All right.
Fair enough.
So
Is there like a weapon shop somewhere?
Yes, there is a weapon shop nearby. There is a blacksmith. Uh, the blacksmith is a human male, and he has all sorts of he doesn't necessarily delve deep into like fletchery and bows and stuff like that, but he's a little bit of archery and blacksmithing, and you can certainly get a maul if that's what you're looking for specifically.
I was just thinking it's a basic smacky sort of weapon. How much is that gonna cost?
Cheap maul is 7 gold. Or you can get you a better made maul for 10.
I count over my coin and sort of slump my shoulders. Okay.
Cad Oak sort of speaks up and fine. I'll cover you a little bit there, Cad. You probably need you a different weapon anyway.
So I guess I'll acquire whatever he would be willing to assist with. I only had 4 silver, so
Oh, just 4 silver?
yeah. Which I'd be willing to throw into whatever, but that's all I had.
You had 7 silver, you said?
4 silver.
4 silver. Okay. So he throws in a couple of silver himself to by a couple. I mean more than 2. I mean like 6, so that it counts as a gold, and then he dishes out the other chunk of the gold to get you a cheap 7 gold maul.
Okay.
He then sort of finishes up and passes you out another 4 gold, just so that you're not entirely broke. You yourself.
Okay, so I got the cheap mall and 4 gold in pocket.
Yep.
Okay, that works.
Then. Right. So, having done that, you have them all, and those that want disguises have disguises. Or potential disguises. Someone would have to make use of the disguise kit to try to disguise
Silver.
everyone.
I was going to say, like, Silver needs someone to disguise her.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
They're
Go as
going to
gold
make
instead.
they're going to make use of disguise kit to disguise those that want to be disguised. So,
Any special notes about the mall, or is it?
nah. It's just a very basic mall.
Okay.
So, you finish up, make your way back out, and you're back on the road again. Huzzah!
On the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again.
Yes, yes, indeed. There is no sort of, for the sake of brevity, there's no real discernible incidents that happen along the way. Actually, okay, so I have changed my mind midstream because we're doing it live or something.
Ah, shit.
We always do it live.
Sort of, yeah.
It never ends well.
So making your way down, one of your nightly watches as you get to about here. Watches in the same order. Go. Locke, Cad, Oak, and Young, and then Silver.
We're all gonna die. 11. Perception.
Seems nice and calm. Not a whole lot going on.
All right, moving on.
That will be a Cad. Nope.
Smells good to me.
Yep. Smells good. Not a whole lot going on. And then we will do an Oak and a Yong. Good thing he got advantage because he was helped by Yong and I just forgot.
Oh,
That's better.
thank God. Okay.
Thank fuck.
Okay. So, Oak is temporarily confused for a second. He was like in the middle of a dream while woke up and Yong's like, hey, yo, that way.
You didn't focus. We're keeping watch.
Alright.
I'm like gonna nudge him and be like, "Hey, that way."
Well, no,
To potential danger.
She basically was just like, he was looking down and she got him to look around instead of down.
That is a very nice pebble. What? Oh.
Yeah, basically.
Oh.
Yeah, something like that.
Tit.
And Oak sort of looks. He looks off to the side and he's. Okay, that's weird. Young.
Can these tips just wake us up so we can see what the hell's going on?
Yes. At him saying that, he sort of gestures for Young to wake everyone up, and people get woke up.
Mm,
You know what?
butts.
Okay, so
Did you just say butts?
Yes. What of it?
okay, so there is movement over that way towards the brush. This is like there's underbrush and low. This is sort of close to foothills, but not quite. Sort of area. Caverton's like gets closer to like more mountainous terrain and forests and things. Um,
Looks pretty remote from many mountains to me, but whatever.
well, the
Foothills.
foothills is what I meant to say.
Mm.
So, uh, he sort of points off to the side, and simply because you guys are looking off that way, you see, and it's like late evening, but it's a couple hours from morning at this point. I could have sworn I saw a shadow in the firelight.
Wait. Question.
Hmm.
Wait, how far does firelight go?
I mean, the firelight.
Like, how big of an area do you think firelight lights up?
Probably a little more than our night vision.
He he thought he heard or saw something, probably roughly 30 feet away.
Okay.
But what's throwing him is the fact that he looks off that way. He knows he hears it, but he doesn't.
He doesn't have night vision, does he? I mean,
He
dark
does.
vision?
He does not have
I
dark
do.
vision.
Okay, because I was sitting there going like, then
He
would
he
just
ha-
have...
he does not have night vision. He has his ears, and he has what little bit of light is cast from the firelight.
Okay.
He's assuming that the reason he can't see it is because he can't see in the dark. But he pointed it out to Young, who has dark vision, and she did not see anything over there. So,
Shadows.
something is maybe 30 feet away from us, and I don't know what it is,
Can we
or
see
if it's a threat, but something.
Roll perception to see if I can spot it with dark vision. 18.
Yeah, I have 60 feet of dark vision. Let's see. 8.
10 less than me. Holy fuck.
What?
She is
Cad can get
tired
another.
and
Cad can
slightly
get
grumpy.
another. Cad can get another roll if he wants.
Perception.
Yeah.
Sure.
Ooh. Nice.
Oh, well, hot damn.
So I can see and smell.
Yeah.
And Silver's just grumpy, just like, oh God, why'd you wake? Oh, for the love of hell, why'd you wake me up now?
It's in the middle of a really fun dream.
Very
With
fun dream.
butts.
All right. So Cad, you look off to the side, and you spot the like shadows of movement, and hear someone like footsteps moving along the path, and it appears as if there was some sort of spy that was watching over your camp. Though whether that person is still over there, you can't really tell. Locke, you see and hear much the same thing. Someone was moving around in the undergrowth over that way, and they just booked it when you guys started to wake up and notice them.
Should we give chase? Because people staring at us in the middle of the night usually isn't a good thing.
They took off running in which direction?
They actually took off towards the forest down here. They got a long way to go to get there, but they took off towards the south. And away from the road. Sort of southeast-ish. You guys are camping about near the road, and they're going like that.
I'm not far from town.
I mean, it's up to you guys. I just thought I'd voice that there was someone watching camp, so.
Well, people staring at us is usually a bad thing. I mean, what if it's some of the people who are trying to find us in the first place? You know, the people who are wanting that damn bounty on our heads or whatever.
Yeah, it could be. And also, the fact is, we're getting closer to Copperton, so we're kind of walking into the mouth of the monster.
That's fairly accurate. Yeah.
All right. Out of character, who has the highest speed?
Me,
CAD.
And okay, and what is your speed?
Unless
40.
Okay. One scroll of haste. I could apply that to you, effectively doubling your speed to 80, and then if you did the action to dash after the person, you could probably catch up to them in pretty good time.
what's
Pretty
Young's
much.
speed?
I just woke up and heard the situation about it, so if someone asks guard dog to go and fetch, I probably would.
All right.
Wait, what's Young's speed? Because I know monks get weird shit.
Young's speed is 35.
35 and
35 or 40. Then double that with haste, so that would either be 70 or 80. And then you would then double that again due to dash, and you either get 140 or 160 feet per round for up to a minute.
well, because I was just thinking because of monk abilities. I don't know
Right.
how much abilities Youngs have.
Right. And the thing is, I'm pretty sure I have to be within a certain range to keep up the haste.
Is haste
And so
concentration?
it is
Well-
concentration up to 1 minute.
Yeah, you'd have to
Let's
stay
put
in
it this
range.
way. Can you ride on both of our heads?
I can ride on yours.
It would be better for distance purposes because Cad's got the better distance.
Right.
Cad. Okay, what happened here is Cad, as a Loxodon, he got barbarian movement of +10, which allowed his 30 feet to be 40 feet. However, Young got the same sort of bonus, but instead of barbarian, it was monk. But Young's land speed started at 25 because she's a dwarf.
Right. So ultimately, CAD would be the faster option.
Cad would be the
Mhm.
faster
Yes,
option.
What does Step of the Wind do again?
Step of the Wind is dash. It's the same sort of thing, but
I thought
technically,
you could do dash dash and then Step of the Wind for another dash.
she could do Step of the Wind is dash. She could dash as her main action and movement. Dash dash. She could go pretty fast if she wanted to.
Right,
But-
because if you do a dash, it takes up your bonus. Or wait, or does he still have your bonus after you dash?
If you do
I'm pretty sure
movement,
dashing is an action itself on most normal characters, I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
Okay.
If she dashed already, I don't know if monks could do Step of the Wind to dash on top of that, but
I
Step
can't
of the
remember.
count as a movement action, or as a bonus action, rather?
dash.
What's your
step
range of concentration?
range on haste is what is range on haste?
Make me scroll all the way back down and find it again. Sure, why not? Well, that's fine. I'm not mad. Haste. Range is 30 feet.
So as soon within 6 seconds, unless you are, I would be out of range.
Yeah. The duration is up to 1 minute. So yeah, if I like right on your head and haste you, and then you just go, you could probably catch up to the person
I'm
pretty
good
quick.
with simple. Simple comes natural.
All right.
Okay. Step of the Wind allows you to spend a key point to disengage or dash action as a bonus action. What's
Yeah.
a bonus action.
Yeah,
Either
but
way-
ultimately, I can't effectively ride on Young's head, so that becomes a moot point at this junction.
Yeah, because I don't think, though she could get further,
She'd probably be tireder from that, right?
Yeah.
she could do that, but she wouldn't necessarily have the stealth to be quiet about it, and that would be the only reason to go over Yong over Cad, just on the grounds that,
Sneaky.
just on the grounds that she could be faster, but ultimately, I want to go with the Cad with
Okay.
Locke
that's fine.
riding
I can do that.
because it's
That's
funner.
It's more fun, yeah. All right. All right. You done with that, Cad?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Locke hops on up and Pulls out the scroll. Okay. Puts a hand on him and vroom, you are hasted for the next minute.
So if I like run in place to build up speed and then take off running, is there like comedic bongos to accompany?
No.
Sure.
Yay! Okay.
And Oak's just on. Oak, not Oak. Log is on top with Coconut.
No, I'm
Yep.
just holding on for dear life because, oh dear God, we're moving at hundreds of feet a second. Which we literally are. You are a blur. You are the Flash.
This is actually very funny. I just imagine Locke hopping on his shoulders and then whoosh of magic, and then Cad's just like running in place, and then.
Hey, at least I could see and smell them both very well. So at least I know where I'm.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So-
so Silver is just like, after they leave, just like, what just happened?
They are
Can
going.
we cause like a mini sonic boom?
And it
Uh,
just
They are going after
160
whoever it
feet
was that
every
was.
6 seconds.
They are going after whoever it was that is spying on us. So I suggest we.
should we go follow?
Yes. And
Okay.
Yang will book it, and Oak will book it, and yeah.
We're moving at
Um,
about 26 feet per second if my math
They're
is
gonna get trampled a couple of times. Cat does like a couple of circles around them.
Alright. So,
Okay.
with that speed buff, does Cad catch up to the person who fled from us? I would assume yes.
Yes, he does. However, there is a catch.
Oh shit.
Cad, roll for me perception. This is flat for two reasons. One, you're not going to be able to discern smell very easily while running super fast, and two, you're getting disadvantage on the roll from doing it while you're running super fast. Perception.
23.
23. Okay. So,
Survival
you-
is tracking.
yes, you can do survival as well, or Locke can, since he's riding on your shoulders. See if he can keep an eye on
what's
his
your,
track.
what is your survival at? Mine's 3.
2.
Alright, could I potentially get help from him on this so I could have advantage,
Yes.
or would that not work in this? Okay, cool.
I smell them in this general direction.
21.
Alright. So,
So I'm like, so I got my eyes straight down, trying not to look at the world disappearing around me, and just pointing out, turn left, turn right, that way, yep, no, straight, no, that's an alligator.
Had to get all the way over there where there's alligators, but okay.
Okay, that's an
Got
alligator,
that.
and we're past it already.
Rocks.
give me.
By the time we see something, we've already passed through it.
You guys charge forth. You are keeping pace with the tracks. You are keeping an eye on the tracks.
You accidentally trample over them, so you have to backtrack.
And
I'm using my feral instincts to
Now-
make split-second decisions.
because you rolled over 20 for your survival lock, you pick up on a very interesting tidbit to these tracks. Though they're going by and whizzing past you very fast, you realize that these tracks are similar to tracks that you've seen before. They're in paces of 10 feet apart where there's an actual set of tracks.
Oh, okay. The person again.
Remember the person that you thought at first was hopping, and then it was determined that they were blinking?
I do not remember this, no.
This was the This
One
was
that-
this was the person that took Cad's hammer.
Oh,
North
right.
of Kindershaw Summit.
Alright, that person.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
They're blinking. Oh boy.
And at this particular point in time, you get pace. You're going super fast, and Cad, you have about 3 seconds to stop before you go trampling over would be trampling over a halfling that disappears a split second before you trample him.
Throw lock. Tackle.
Throw a lot.
No,
no.
See, if I throw the e-brake, but he doesn't have large ears, so That's problematic.
Yeah, that if you truck me, I'm probably gonna lose concentration on haste. So.
Well, to be fair, and this is out of character, but to be fair, the last time I tried to run directly at someone, I couldn't trample. So, you know.
Or you just sit there and just stop sudden and just fling Locke forward.
Don't do that.
I should note, Cad, if this guy had not disappeared, you would have trampled him.
So, the moment I would have trampled, he ended up blinking in front of me, so that's... Stop.
Mm-hmm.
So blink pops you somewhere within a certain radius, right?
Yep.
Right, of 10 feet.
So he'll be reappearing around us any moment, basically.
So, what if I was to set my path not directly at him, but directly beside him, so that as I overtake him, I can try and trip him?
Well, I mean, at this
Or
particular
you just
at this
go
particular
up
point,
next to him and then just step in his way.
at this particular point in time, you've already sort of crossed his path. So, assuming you could technically do that if he continued to go straight. But
he might not be, but he'll still be
He
appearing
might
pretty
not
close
be.
by, so it's a moot point. You can catch right up to him regardless.
Catch up, bonk.
So, what
I'll
would I
swing.
need to do to try and get in his way and be a brick wall for him?
Just hazard a guess and hope.
there's no real check for this. Pick a direction: north, south, east, or west. Assuming he was heading southwest, so you can sort of take a guess at which direction he may have went.
And we are currently how far off the road? Because we've traveled some distance or other.
It's
yeah,
been
you're-
less than a minute, so not super far.
Okay. And he's traveling southwest?
Yeah, towards the forest. You've probably met
That's
him at about right.
southeast.
Yeah, you probably met him at about right here.
No
Okay.
way we traveled that far. We were that's half a day's travel.
Sorry.
Right, but okay. I just wanted to know the direction. He was saying southwest, and that was throwing me. I was like, oh, he's... It's Caperton.
Yeah, southeast, not west. West.
Sorry.
Yeah. So... I guess I would try and end up slightly more south, but basically southeast of him. Because if he's traveling southeast, he's going to have... If I have 3 seconds to react, he's also going to have 3 to react, and one of us has already been moving speed and one of us hasn't. So if his last blink was exactly, wait, what, who, then he's going to have to process that and figure out that all of a sudden I'm in front of him. So yeah, I'm going to be like slightly to the southeast of him, so hopefully in his way.
Okay. Yeah.
So we can't do the running start golf swing?
Not in this scenario, no.
Aw, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So he was maintaining his direction south, and in going south, you meet up with where he pops in a little over. About 6 or so seconds later, you get enough time to get to where he's at, and he pops into existence. Being very small like he is, he pops into existence right where you are.
Does he stop?
Yes. He stops. He pops into existence and then realizes you're there and it's like, oh shit. And Cad, if you want to try to grab him, you have a split second to try to do so. He is a little halfling in robes.
Would this be like an attack, or would this be athletics, or what would I...
This would be a grapple check. It's a type of attack. It's your athletics against his, technically. Or your athletics versus his acrobatics or athletics, whichever one.
So as an attack, can it be a reckless at advantage?
No.
Don't think that's how that works.
Unfortunately, no.
See, I would have said yes and said that it puts Locke at risk, but anyway. Okay, fine. So I
But if we were
made...
traveling at 160 feet per 6 seconds, man, 26 feet a second, that's already pretty at risk.
I mean, you had a good grip.
I did, but that was because of adrenaline. Like, oh shit! It's like Peter Parker when he wound up on the Pegasus in the last battle of Endgame. Like, hi, I'm Peter. Oh my god! As he's being flown around the battle at high speeds. That's kind of what happened with Locke. You're like, oh, this is oh shit!
And there they go.
I will use my unarmed as the base of it then, I guess. And
No, you're
normal,
rolling.
not a-
You're rolling an acrobatics skill check
No,
Oh, it is
athletics.
or athletics for yours.
So it is actually an athletics check,
Yes.
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 but it's straight normal. Okay.
Well, I think you got him probably, unless he has like a fucking insane roll or really high bonus.
Just for purposes, I'm going to use a luck, even though it's pretty dang good. And now I have a choice anyway. Yeah, I'm going to use the 22.
Okay.
Nope. Shit.
By
I
the
think
way,
that's
he's doing it too. No, you don't.
Oh.
So he managed to squirm free.
So here's what happens.
He blinks again.
No, here's what happens. He stops. Cad reaches down to try to, like, I'm sort of imagining a sort of bear hug grab. Or how
Right
is
between the
Cad,
legs.
how is Cad trying to grab him?
Think like fat guy on basketball court. It's like, no.
Just
Right.
Like picking. I was imagining you just like picking him up around the neck, just like grabbing the back of his neck and lifting him, like a cat grabbing their kitten, except with fingers instead of teeth. Scruff the little guy.
Yeah. It would be sort of the bear hug gesture, I guess.
Yes. So you reach down, and he sort of backpedals just in time, and you see his movement before he does it, and you adjust where you're going, and then he does a sideways flip. He sort of hits sideways and gets out of your grasp, quote unquote, tumbling when that's not what he intended to do, but he does get away. It's like, nah.
Okay, fuck this. I am going to just, and I'm going to cast Blight on him, non-lethal damage,
Okay,
if I am permitted to do that.
you can do that. I mean, I gave him an attack. I gave you an attack, or I gave Cad an attack. So
All right, let's see. So, he must make a Constitution saving throw. He takes full damage if he succeeds and half if he fails.
88 necrotic.
Wow. Huh. Oh right, that's why.
Randomly going to be like a plus 14.
Please no.
Ow.
Oh!
He's a halfling. He can re-roll those.
Shit.
All right, well, that's 14 damage then.
Oh, hey, cool. That
I think it's
didn't-
funny, I just randomly said plus 14 and he rolled a 14 and you rolled 14. Anyway, go ahead.
I didn't know you could do the divide by 2 thing. That's cool.
You can do all kinds of multiplication.
Alright, so he does take 14 then.
And like, look at that, for example. 12 times 3 plus 2d6. I got 38 because I rolled nothing but ones, but fuck it.
Alright.
And
Ow.
there's no way the three of us are catching up to this
No,
interaction.
no, you guys got a round or 2 before this potential something would happen. However,
Well, let me know when I get a chance to chuck another spell. So,
however, I am going to I didn't want to. I don't want to go past 4 o'clock because I have an earlier shift tomorrow, and I was wanting to end on something a little bit more exciting than I have the past couple of sessions. So, yeah, you got him. There's a fight brewing. He knows he can't get away, and his blink spell is done because time.
Alright.
Because it has a specific sort of duration similar to your haste spell. So,
Which that's probably going to wear off the moment combat starts, because it only lasts for a minute, and I probably had to drop concentration to use Blight, so...
technically you didn't, but yeah, it would be pretty close to done by the time you got here.
And when the spell ends, the target can't move or take actions until after its next turn as a wave of lethargy sweeps over it, so Cad's going to be like, ugh, for a round.
That'll be fun.
Oh,
So-
joy.
Would you
Yes.
say that I would be surprised by this side effect?
Probably.
Yes. So, we will get to that next time. I just wanted to make things more exciting at the tail end there because we had some pretty bleh-ish and chill sessions. So,
Character development for the most part, just interactions. And the start
Yep.
of this session was fun. You cannot make that shit up.
this is true. Alrighty then.
That was a
So,
great heist gone wrong.
it was indeed.
Good at the same time?
We got what we came for, but not the way we wanted.
Yeah.
So, this has been Shadows of Gradiriel. Kenneth, go.
Tune in next time for Whack-a-Munchkin or Blink and It's Gone.
Ah,
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
this is when Brian explodes. 3, 2, 1.
What?
Ah.
What do you mean explode? What?
I
No,
was,
I'm not
I
a
was,
bomb.
I was waiting for your. I was waiting for your like very, very like loud pun groan thing that you do all the time.
Yeah, I do that for puns, not whatever Kenneth just did.
I was thinking more like a Rocky and Bullwinkle